significance in our world today. Across the world, men and women protect their freedom.
And welcome to Floyd Casey Stadium here in Waco. It is the TAPPS Division III Championship game. Of course, this is the home of the Baylor Bears, but tonight it is TAPPS that takes center stage. We've got Frisco Legacy, the Christians at our Frisco Legacy at 11-2, taking on the St. Paul Cardinals out of Shiner. They are 9-4. A great matchup here for you, and joining you now, Jeff Power and Larry Centers. And obviously, Larry, talk a little bit more about this matchup because these two teams love to run the football.
Well, this is a matchup of two teams that really, like you said, love to run the football, featuring two great running backs who have been healthy the remainder of the most of the year. Adam Hollenbach from St. Paul Shiner and Obi Urabu. With a name like Obi Urabu, you know he's got to be pushing some people out of the way.
Both these running backs around 2,000 yards rushing this year, and both these teams have had to overcome injuries throughout this season. It should be a very good matchup tonight. We've got it all coming up for you here. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll be right back with much more. It's the TAPPS Division III Championship game.
Stands the visitor side where the Eagle Marching Band plays the school song.
Welcome back to the Legacy Sports Network pregame show. We're here at Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco, and this is the site of the Division III TAPPS Championship game. And we're now joined by Jake Walksmith, the head coach of St. Paul. First of all, give us your thoughts about the folks from Shiner coming in and getting fired up for such a huge game. And let's talk about some of those keys against Frisco Legacy.
Well, we are very excited to be here. It's a thrill for these kids. We come from a small town, and obviously this stadium is fantastic. The keys for us have really not changed this year. Offensively, we want to execute. Last week we didn't turn the ball over, and that helped us a great deal, and we minimized our penalties, and we believe when we do that we have a chance to run in past the football. Defensively, we need to lock in on their running back. He's a good football player. We also know they have the ability to throw the ball. We want to try to limit big plays, not give them big plays, and make them continue to take snaps, and then be solid in the kicking game.
I know your quarterback, Dakota Cresta, got injured early in the year, non-throwing elbow injury. Give me your thoughts about him and overcoming the injury bug this year.
Well, he played through that game he got hurt in. He said, I'm all right, and it turned out he had a fracture in his non-throwing elbow, and really he just wanted to keep playing, but we had to do a surgery operation, and he's just a great kid. I mean, he's unselfish. Last week he threw the ball for 200 yards, but he wouldn't care if he threw it for any yards as long as you win the ball game, and he's the kind of leader you want for your team.
Jake Walksmith, we do appreciate it. Let's now check in with Larry Centers, who's on the other side of the field with Legacy Christian's head coach.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm on the other side of the field with Coach Andy Embry with the Legacy Christian Academy. Coach, what are some of the keys to the game for you to win this game tonight?
Well, tonight we feel like we really need to try to keep our offense on the field and keep their offense off the field. They're very talented on the offensive side of the ball as well as defensively, but if we can run the clock and keep our offense on the field, we think that's a big key for us this evening.
Yeah. Well, time of possession will definitely play a big factor in this game. Tell us a little bit about the way you plan to hold on to the ball. I hear you have a great running game this season.
Pretty good, yes, sir. Ovi Urevbu has done real well for us. He's over 2,000-yard rusher, and he's done a great job. So obviously he'll be touching the ball a little bit, passing game. Short passing game and try to just maintain the clock like you said.
Okay, great. Is there any one thing that you need to do to stop the other team from a scheme standpoint? Something you've told your team all week we must do in order to come away with this thing with the championship?
Yes, sir. We got to tackle well. You know, we got to get our face on them, wrap up and run our feet, and we got to really take them down and tackle well. That's a big key for tonight.
Great. Well, good luck to you, Coach. Thanks for your time. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to Floyd Casey Stadium here in Waco. It is the TAPPS Division III championship game. Jeff Power alongside Larry Centers. Larry spent 14 years in the NFL, played with the Arizona Cardinals and the Buffalo Bills, Washington Redskins. You were a fullback, and we're going to see some fullbacks in action tonight, Larry. And this is going to be a lot of fun tonight. We're here again at Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco, home of the Baylor Bears. And these kids were talking about before the game how excited they were about being on this college field and really getting a chance to, play on this this new environment.
Hey, man, this is the biggest stage of their careers, most of them. They'll never play in a bigger game. You have to put your best foot forward when you come into this type of arena. Coach mentioned that they're from small towns and, they're not used to the big lights, the big city. Let's see how they perform when the thing is really for real. All
right, so Tom Schultz is our referee tonight. And, again, the Legacy Sports Network is social media conscious. You can follow us on Twitter at Legacy Sports Net and like us on Facebook by going to facebook.com/Legacy Sports Network. And don't forget to download our mobile app in the iTunes Store and Google Play, the new Android market. So Legacy Sports Network, good to be on board with you here tonight. Let's kind of set up this type of matchup. I mean, we've talked about the running game. We talked about the fact that these two quarterbacks have had to overcome a lot this year as well. Now, Adam Beck is the quarterback for Legacy Christian. 1,322 yards passing this year and 19 touchdowns. He's been sensational. On the other side of the ball, Dakota Cresta, 81 completions, 771 yards passing. So not as many yards right there because he was dinged up, as his head coach told us early on. Now, Jake Walksmith said that, he even played through that game with that non-throwing elbow injury. But that had to be pretty tough. But in his absence, Mitchell McElroy came in as the backup. He filled in admirably, went 4-0 as the quarterback. And that's what you need from your team when you're out here, and you need that kind of quality backup player who can come in and get the job done.
Absolutely, Jeff. Anytime you call yourself a team, there has to be a certain amount of accountability from one player to the next, whether he's on the field or whether he is going to get on the field due to an injury, a sickness, or something like that, God forbid. But when you have guys who will step up and never miss a beat with your team, I think that's the mark of a true championship football team.
Let's take a look at some of the players in tonight's game that are kind of matching up. Some of the top players we'll be watching out for, beginning with Legacy Christian. You alluded to this earlier. Ovi Urevu is their star running back, and he's got some incredible statistics this year. 2,273 yards rushing, 29 touchdowns. That's an 8.55 average, and he has been sensational. You see him there on the right-hand side. Adam Beck, the quarterback, just talked about him. Some great numbers for him at 1,322 yards passing. And then there's Hunter Wood, 25 receptions, 556 yards receiving, and 6 touchdowns. So, hey, these guys can score with the best of them. On the other side of the ball, though, how about Shiner St. Paul? Adam Hollenbeck, 228 carries, 1,920 yards rushing, 36 touchdowns, and that's that one of the key matchup we're watching out for. Then there's Dakota Cresta, the quarterback in the middle, 81 completions, 771 yards passing, 7 touchdowns. And then finally Dylan Barton, 20 receptions, 480 yards with 6 touchdowns. So those are the key players that we're watching out for in tonight's game. And, you need key players. I mean, this is 11-on-11 football here. We'll get into some 6-man tomorrow at the TAPPS Championships. And don't forget, folks, that this will be the first of 3 championship games right here in Waco. This is the Division III title game. The Divisions 1 and 2 championship games will be played tomorrow. And, in fact, looking at that lineup real quickly, Midland Christian and Houston Northland Christian will be battling each other at 11 a.m. here at Floyd Casey. And then right after that, Fort Worth Nolan will take on Addisy Trinity Christian, that game being played at 3 p.m. Again, the TAPPS Football Championships right here at Floyd Casey Stadium here in Waco.
Of the players, of the superstars that we flashed across the screen, there's one guy in particular that stands out, and that's Ovi Urevu. He's leading all players in TAPPS in Division 1, 2, or 3 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we're expecting big things from him tonight.
So as the officials talking things over right now here in the middle of the field, we're about 3 or 4 minutes away from kickoff. Crowd still kind of filing in here. and a great atmosphere. These kids were talking about it earlier with us when we were down on the field about the excitement of playing here at Floyd Casey Stadium, and it's a great environment for football. Obviously the biggest stadium these kids have played in, but if you haven't been to a TAPPS football game this year, they are a lot of fun. These kids can throw it with the best of them. You see a lot of really good star quarterbacks, especially in TAPPS football all across the state of Texas. This is one of the matchups. Of course, Adam Beck and also Dakota Cresta, some of the players that kind of come to mind as far as quarterbacks are concerned. Also, there's players that have never even played the sport before, like Cameron Thrash and Brian Marino. They've never played football. They're on special teams, and they will get the job done for Legacy Christian Academy. Again, Legacy Christian Academy, they are in the green and white uniforms, and here in the red uniforms with the black trim is Shiner St. Paul and the Cardinals. Of course, battling into this game. They have suffered 4 losses this year. One of those games was a forfeit, mainly due to injuries. So, but they feel like they are right where they need to be right now, and they are in the championship game and playing as good a football as they've played all year. And, Larry, you could allude to this. It's not uncommon for teams to peak at that going into the postseason, and you may have 3 or 4 losses during the regular season, but if you're peaking at playoff time, that is the time to be winning.
Man, that is the most beautiful story that you can see during a season. It's when a team fights through adversity early in a season. They suffer with injuries. You get a few guys lost and a few guys back, and when the rubber meets the road, when the playoffs hit, they turn into that beast that goes on to win it all. And both of these teams kind of put you in the mind of teams that can do that.
Jake Walksmith, the head coach for Shiner St. Paul, has done a fantastic job this year, and they have had to overcome some adversity throughout the season, and they have done a nice job. And, you know, even the fact that Adam Hollenbach, their star running back, he plays a little bit of everything. He'll go out for a pass occasionally. That's what you've got to do in that running back position. And much the same with Dylan Barton. He's a receiver, but he's also a tight end, 480 yards receiving. He's one of those players that can kind of drop back and get you a good block as a tight end, then sometimes roll out and catch a pass. That's what you're looking for when you're looking at this offense for Shiner St. Paul. Now, as for Legacy Christian out of Frisco, I mean, this is a team that's loaded with talent. Both these squads have roughly about 30 players on that roster, so you can see how depth would certainly hurt a team if they or injuries would hurt a team when you're looking at the lack of depth. So Shiner St. Paul Cardinals, they will be receiving the kickoff here. And Frisco Legacy Christian will be kicking off. Again, this game being played here at Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco. Good opportunity for both of these teams to get their crowds up here. And a nice meeting point, I might add. Shiner kind of down there in that San Antonio, Central Texas area. And then, of course, Frisco up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So Frisco Legacy Christian and Shiner St. Paul both having to travel roughly about a couple of hours to get here. So it's about as neutral as it gets.
I don't think we could have picked a better location in terms of weather and climate to play. I mean, there's no wind, virtually no wind, and very mild temperature. No excuses from the elements, as the elements are concerned.
Adam Hollenbach, wearing number 21, is back deep to receive for the Cardinals. Again, this is the Division III TAPPS Championship. Shiner St. Paul coming to this game at 9-4 and taking on a good Frisco Legacy Christian team, 11-2. Both these teams have been battle-tested. And we are getting ready to kick this one off as we close in on the Division III State Championship game. Doesn't get any bigger than this for these kids. They are excited. They are ready to play some football. And the referee, Tom Schultz, puts the ball down, gives us the signal that we're ready to get started. And what do you say, Larry? Let's get ready for some football, huh?
Hey, let's get her going, baby.
Andrew Embry, the head coach of Frisco Legacy Christian. The offensive coordinator is Doug Pevenhouse, and Barrett Hardage is the defensive coordinator. So Hardage will get a chance to call the defensive plays here as we are underway. And there is the kickoff from Legacy Christian. And this ball drops down around the 19-yard line, and picking it up and picking up a couple yards out to about the 5 is number 5, Martin Kennedy, the 25-yard line. And that is where the Cardinals will set up shop, on the 25-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Shiner St. Paul. As we take a look at their starting lineup, Dakota Cresta, good to see him back in that lineup. Mitchell McElroy and Adam Hollenbach behind him in that fullback and running back positions. Martin Kennedy, Jared Markham, Dylan Barton will be out catching some passes today. And then there's that big line right there. We'll take a look at the defense here in just a moment. 1st and 10. Two-back set. Receiver on either side. Here's the handoff up the middle and met and hit right at the line, and then picking up a couple of big chunks of yards right there at the end. That looked like Mitchell McElroy there. As we look at now Legacy Christian, the defensive side of the ball. Watch out for Christian Hollowell and Hunter Wood and Ovi Arebu. We talked about Arebu. He also plays defensive back. Not uncommon to play both sides of the ball. Michael Pale and Caleb Palmer at the linebacker position, and Ryan Bassel as well at linebacker. Then you've got your defensive line. So 2nd and 5. Cardinals with the ball. And there's the pitch to the deep man, picking up some good first down yardage and tackled on the play before picking up a couple 5-6 yards is Adam Hollenbach. So Hollenbach with the first down right there. So we've seen Hollenbach now a couple times. He takes the high pitch. That's a good play right there.
The thing that stands out to me on these first 2 runs is it looks like St. Paul, Shiner St. Paul is trying to set a tone. Hollenbach, give it to your money guy, let him punch it up in there, get you a first down on the first 2 plays, get some team confidence.
So 3-back set now. Ball at the 36-yard line, 1st and 10, handoff up the middle to the fullback, and picks up some nice yardage up the middle, dragging some defenders. And again, that's Hollenbach picking up about, looks like 6 yards on the play.
Tough running by Mr. Everything for this team. He does it all. You know, he fights for extra yardage, gets the finesse runs. Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of his game.
You see the stats there for Hollenbach this year, almost 2,000 yards rushing, averaging over 8 yards per carry. And look at that, 36 touchdowns. It's an amazing stat right there, 36 TDs. All right, 2nd down, and we'll call it 4. 2-back set, man in motion. Martin Kennedy was in motion, but this ball is going deep downfield, up and out of the outstretched arms. And that was a great play call right there, but Marco Incline cannot come up with it.
What a throw here, Jeff.
Okay, you see Dakota Cresta there opening up and looked like it was right on target.
He put it on the money. I mean, that ball has to be caught, especially in a championship game. He got him open. Everybody's done their job. Make the grab.
Marco Incline there, the intended receiver. Sometimes when you're running full speed like that, it's hard to haul that one in when it's around your fingertips. 3rd down now. 3rd, and we'll call it 4. Handoff up the gut. This is Hollenbach. He picks up what looks to be another first down. So Hollenbach up the middle has been a tried and true formula so far here for Shiner St. Paul. Hollenbach wearing number 21 will go over 2,000 yards tonight at 19-20 coming into this game. Of course, 36 touchdowns. He's had a great season. Dakota Cresta under center. 3 backs behind him. The good old I formation. And faking the handoff is Dakota Crespa, hanging on to it, picking up 8 good yards. So far, looks like Shiner St. Paul pretty content with keep the ball in the middle of the field.
Ball control offense. You know, hey, there's no substitute. There's only one substitute for a good defense, and that's a great offense.
Cresta right there, deciding not to hand it off to his fullback, who did get stuffed, so good choice right there. Cresta hanging on to it. It's now 2nd and 3, ball on the 46-yard line. Shiner St. Paul on the move. Handoff up the middle, picking up some big yardage out to the 34-yard line. That's another first down for Shiner St. Paul. And I tell you what, it has been the Adam Hollenbach show so far.
Jeff, that was a shoestring away from being a house call here. He was headed to the house. Got caught up.
Hollenbach right there, lined up in the fullback position that time and took that handoff and just charged right up the middle, picking up some great yardage all the way to the 33. 1st and 10, 8:38 and counting. First quarter. Handoff out to the outside now. Running around side is the slot back Martin Kennedy, and he picks up some good yardage, close to another first down.
You know, Kennedy's been a big part of this offense all year, Jeff. He's had 91 carries for 908 yards this season with 11 touchdowns. He's also an integral part of the receiving unit, where he's caught 11 balls for 192 yards and 2 TDs. So he's been an integral part and contributed heavily on this offensive team this season.
Jared Markham now onto the field, far side receiver. Martin Kennedy now to the near side. 2-back formation. And the pitch back to Hollenbach. And this time he's met right around the line of scrimmage before picking up a couple of yards, and looks like he's got plenty for the first down. Dance with who brung you. Hollenbach has been the bell cow this season for Shiner St. Paul, and this has been his drive.
So far he has not disappointed.
Frisco Legacy Christian Academy on the defensive side right here. Mickey Willis had actually broke his arm against Colleyville. He was an offensive starter. They said they're going to miss him this year. And there's the quarterback keeper right there by Dakota Cresta. Oh, it looks like Kennedy actually took that handoff right there. Martin Kennedy picks up a couple yards. It'll be second down, and let's call it 7. 7 or 8.
One thing that stands out so far in this ball game is that Coach Wasmuth does not allow his players to stay in one spot so that the defense can get a beat on them. They don't know where he's coming from. I've seen our guy Hollenbach move 3 or 4 different spots and gain yardage.
All right, so 2nd and 8 now. And the pitch back to Martin Kennedy. Kennedy with some good yardage up the middle now to the outside. Close to a first down. He'll be about a yard or 2 short. It'll bring up 3rd down. You get down inside this red zone and things shorten up for you. Smaller field, shorter field, hard to score. You can see good opportunity right there for Kennedy, picking up some good yardage. So Frisco Legacy Christian with their backs against the wall. They've been pushed, but we'll see. They got a chance to hold Shiner St. Paul right here now. 3rd and 2, ball on the 12-yard line. And there is the pitch off again to Hollenbach, and flags come down this time. Looks like we're going to have a false start on Shiner St. Paul. Tom Schultz will give us the call right now. So legal procedure. And that hurts. And now it brings up now 3rd and 7. That changes the whole play call dynamic right there. From 3rd and 2, you're just not sure. That's a much easier call if you're the offensive coordinator. But 3rd and 7, it's almost a guaranteed pass.
Yeah, absolutely. And one big killer is that it alters the level of momentum that you've gained to this point. Hopefully they'll be able to rebound and punch the ball in.
Barrett Hardage, the defensive coordinator for Frisco Legacy Christian. And here is the pitch off to Hollenbach. And he breaks a tackle to the 15, down to the 10, and close to a first down, and he's going to have enough. So a big first down run right there by Hollenbach on 3rd and 7. So much for thinking they're going to pass it.
I know.
The running game has been the bread and butter so far for Shiner St. Paul, and nice job by Hollenbach breaking a couple of tackles there.
You can look across the state of Texas and you won't see a tougher run than that run right there. Hollenbach, he shows why he's the bread and butter in the running game on this football team.
Zach Snyder now into the game, wearing number 44, 3-back set. Quarterback under center, Dakota Cresta. Hands this one off to Hollenbach, spins off a tackle down to the 3-yard line. That'll bring up now 2nd and goal, down to the 4-yard line. So an impressive drive. If you're just now joining us, Shiner St. Paul has owned the ball here so far the entire game. They've had it for nearly 7 minutes. Impressive drive, which began back on their own 25-yard line, and now they are facing 2nd and 4 on the 4. So 2nd and goal. Here's the handoff to Hollenbach, and he takes it in for a touchdown. And Adam Hollenbach picks up his 37th touchdown of the season and had a good chunk of the yardage on this drive as Shiner St. Paul takes an early 6-0 lead.
What a great job. Now let's give a little bit of credit to the offensive line and the blocking scheme. he's barely touched going into the end zone. Now, he's run tough this whole drive, but on that one, I got to give that one a lot of the credit to the offensive line.
Yeah, Connor Pruitt, Tyler Morgan, Laddie Pautek, Justin Siegel, Travis Robbie, Dylan Barton. Fine job on that drive. That is the offensive line for Shiner St. Paul. The extra point is up, and it is good. So just like that, exactly 5 minutes to play here in the first quarter. So that 7-minute drive results in a very impressive 75 yards and a 7-0 lead for Shiner St. Paul.
Most definitely very impressive. Not many mistakes. I think they had one penalty on the drive down late in the red zone. Other than that, they were well coached, very disciplined to avoid the penalties, kept everything moving in the right direction.
Yeah, Jake Walksmith, the head coach, very content to keep Adam Hollenbach as the main featured back in that particular drive. You know, his father, John Walksmith, is actually the defensive coordinator, and so he calls the defensive plays and has been doing a great job this year for Shiner St. Paul. But a very impressive drive right there. Now we'll get a chance to see the defensive side of the ball now for Shiner St. Paul and the offensive side of the ball now for Frisco Legacy Christian.
Walksmith is his brother or dad?
That is his father, John Walksmith. Got a chance to visit with him before the game, and you know, you'll find this a lot. Some of the best coaches out there played for their dad. You know, when you grow up in that kind of environment where you live and breathe football 24/7, you're going over game plans on, you know, at midnight on a Thursday night when everybody else is, you know, asleep. That's life in the coach's family.
No doubt. You see it even in the National Football League with the
and there is the kickoff. And breaking across the 20, 25, 30, 35, and all the way out to the 36-yard line. So a nice return right there by Hunter Wood. Hunter Wood is a receiver and a return man here for Legacy Christian. This is the TAPPS Division III Championships. We take a look at the starting lineup for Legacy Christian now. Adam Beck at quarterback, Ovle Urebu at running back, Christian Hollowell at wide receiver, Hunter Wood and Brian Marino also in the receiver position. Then there's Zach Snyder at tight end, and then you got your line right there. Andrew Embry, the head coach. He's done a great job this season, 11-2. Frisco Legacy Christian looking sharp this season. Here is the pitch off, stiff arm, breaking to the outside, 40, 45, 50, another stiff arm to the 45 and all the way down to the 38. Well, we talked about him before the game, and just like that, Ovi Urebu shows us what he's made of.
Excellent run by the back here. Extremely impressed with the way he utilizes his offhand, his hand that does not contain the football. Swiping away hand tackles, running tough, eyes downfield. Very tough run. No question why he's a leader in the DFW area.
Laddie Pautek on the tackle right there, finally bringing down Ovi Urebu. So, shotgun formation. And faking the pitch this time and keeping it is the quarterback. I think we're going to get a face mask right here, but Adam Beck decided to hang on to it. And it looks like a good choice because they're going to get 5 yards, it looks like, on a face mask. We'll hear what Tom Schultz, the referee, says. And it is a face mask, so that will be 5 yards, and we'll repeat first down there. So 1st and 5 now. Yeah, definitely. He got the face mask there right at the end of the play, and it looks like it's going to be a personal foul, 15-yard variety. So this one's going all the way down to the 20-yard line, and I think part of that's because of the way the neck was kind of pulled back, and it's a dangerous thing. That's why they don't want you grabbing that face mask. You can hurt someone's neck. All right, so 1st and 10, ball on the 20-yard line. Inside 4 minutes. Here's OV up the middle, and he picks up some good yardage, about 6 yards down to the 14-yard line, and OV Urebu on the move again.
Yeah, I think in the name of
– look at this defense real quick. There's the Shiner St. Paul defense, defensive end Austin Horn, Laddie Pautek, and Travis Raby and Tyler Morgan. in that defensive line position. How about them linebackers, Martin Kennedy, Dilton Barton, and Adam Hollenbach. Hollenbach, of course, playing both running back and linebacker. So now 2nd and 5. Shotgun formation. Beck keeps it this time. Breaks to the outside to the 10s. Got a first down to the 8. Ball comes out. But they do fall back on it. So Frisco Legacy Christian in business with a first down now inside the 10. We'll call it the 8-yard line. Take a look at this play. You got to that zone read right there. You got to be able to read that defensive end. And I tell you, Beck did a great job of deciding to hang on to that ball around the corner. And then he did make a late pitch, it looked like, right there. That's dangerous. You don't want to see your quarterback pitching that late into the play. So 1st and goal from the 9. Beck with a pass across the middle, and it's complete. Touchdown. Nice play-action pass right there. And that was, of course, the receiver Hunter Wood on the receiving end of that touchdown. And just like that, Shiner St. Paul's touchdown is answered by Frisco Legacy Christian's touchdown. Great pass in between 2 defenders. Adam Beck stepping up big on this opening drive for Frisco Legacy Christian.
I like the call here, Jeff. You know, you run the play action, you run the sweep, the option a couple of times. You get the linebackers out of position. You hit the quick hitting pass right over the middle for the touchdown. Great call by the offense.
So we've got ourselves a good game here. 7-7 now. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the opening quarter. This is the Division III TAPPS State Championship. We're here at Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco. Don't forget, tomorrow, got a couple of more games for you. Midland Christian and Houston Northland Christian. They'll do battle 11 a.m. We actually caught up with Northland Christian's players. We'll talk about that at halftime. Also, Fort Worth Nolan and Addison Trinity Christian will battle in the afternoon game at 3 o'clock. So if you like TAPPS football, come on out here to Waco at Floyd Casey Stadium and check out some great action. You know, these coaches, a lot of times they'll tell you when it comes to TAPPS football, you will have some players who are marquee players. It is not uncommon to find some of the top quarterbacks, for example, maybe top running backs in the whole state playing TAPPS football, but they don't get that recognition that, you know, the schools out there in the public schools like UIL football. But you've got some good talent out here. Usually they end up having a little less depth, so it's important to keep those star players healthy, and it never hurts to have a good offensive line.
No doubt. Do we have a stat anywhere that can tell us how many guys have gone to 1A or 1AA to play at the next level?
You know what? We're going to be interviewing Brian Bunselmeyer at halftime. He's the Associate Director of TAPPS Football. We'll ask him and find out. I know they've got themselves quite a few players, and who's to say that some of the players playing in this game won't be playing at the next level? Adam Hollenbach already showing you what he can do, and, of course, Ovi Urebu. Also, we talked about the matchup, and they're living up to it so far. Well, this ball is kicked off and goes out of bounds. So there's a penalty against Frisco Legacy Christian. You hate to see that. That's the coach's worst nightmare. I know Andrew Embry right now is kicking himself, but that's the risk when you try to avoid kicking it to a player like Adam Hollenbach. Sometimes the kicker ends up kicking it out of bounds.
That's the drawback. I noticed they did a pooch kick off the top.
But this one's coming back anyway. It looks like we've got a penalty. Obviously, well, they're going to just re-kick it with the ball going out of bounds. So the ball at the 35-yard line now. And lining up here for the kick for Legacy Christian is number 9, and that is Cameron Thrash. Again, this is his first year playing football. And Thrash, good name for a kicker right there as he pounds this one up the middle. And this is returned by one of the up men, and it picked it up across the 40, 45, out to about the 47-yard line. And a nice little run right there. You got to be ready when you're those up players because you never know if it's coming your way. And doing a nice job of grabbing that ball was Jared Markham. You know, incidentally, Shiner St. Paul, they've got about roughly 10 to 15 players who are Czech. And, you know, there's a lot of Czechoslovakian communities all across the state of Texas. If you think about West Texas, we did one of their baseball games earlier in the year, Larry, and they referred to themselves as West Comma because they didn't want anyone thinking they were just saying they were from West Texas. No, we're west, but that's a big Czech community, as is Sealy, maybe that Belleville area, down there close to Houston, Shiner, Schulenburg.
Yeah.
You go down that I-10 corridor, I tell you, there's a lot of Czechoslovakian and German communities. Ball run out now to about the 47. Pretty good gain right there. Coming out of the game now is number 13, Ryan Kabafik. Speaking of Czech players, there you go. There's one.
There you go.
Yaksamash.
And Ryan has a brother on the team, Derek.
So ball now on the 48-yard line, 2nd and 6. And the handoff up the middle. Nice gain using his blockers. That's Martin Kennedy picking up some good yardage. He's got enough for a first down. And on the tackle there, Ovi Urebu. You know, Urebu not only the leading rusher in all private schools, divisions 1, 2, and 3, but he can also pop on the defensive side of the ball. But look at the holes there for Shiner St. Paul. The offensive line doing a nice job.
Very good job by the offensive line. Good job of the back running behind his pads there also.
You know, I got to ask you, as a fullback, you got to love seeing some of these sets that Shiner St. Paul's in. You know, they got the 3-back set. They got a fullback up front.
Hey,
Looks like you, right?
Hey, you got to love it. Got to love it.
Give the fullback his due, right? Handoff up the middle and being brought down now. Hollenbach is tackled at the 40. He'll lose about 3 yards on that play.
Ironically, in the National Football League these days, fullback position is somewhat becoming extinct. Not many offensive coordinators utilize them in their systems anymore.
And Shiner St. Paul trying to change all that. The Cardinals, they've been on a roll lately. Struggled a bit through the regular season. They're now 9-4, taking on a good Frisco Legacy Christian team at 11-2. Jumbo package, if you will. One receiver to the far side. Handoff up the middle. And being met after about a 2 or 3 yard gain is one of the running backs there. Again, that is Adam Hollenbach. Hollenbach, one of those players, he can play not only both sides of the ball, but can give you multiple looks in the offensive backfield. He can run as a running back, comes out as a receiver occasionally, can catch the ball, can run it, plays linebacker on defense, pretty much does it all.
So far on the offensive side of the ball, I think the coach has done a great job of moving him around so that the defense can't get a beat on it.
Cresta under center, fakes the handoff, looking downfield. He's got a man open. Ball completed to the 25, 20, and down to the 15-yard line. So a nice job right there on the receiving end, and not only getting open, but eluding a couple tackles is Dylan Barton. Watch the play action right here, Larry. You can, when you got them thinking now they're going to go to Hollenbach, and the play action can really work when you got them thinking run.
Absolutely.
Dylan Barton.
Good job by Barton, milking all he can out of that run.
So that's going to do it for the first quarter. We're all tied up at 7. Great first quarter. Both teams driving and scoring touchdowns in their opening possessions. And the Cardinals are on the move again here on their second possession. We'll be right back with second quarter action. This is the Division III TAPPS Championship. Welcome back to Floyd Casey Stadium here in Waco. It's the TAPPS Division III Championship game. Jeff Power and Larry Centers joining you here. We are in Waco, Texas. Shiner St. Paul and Frisco Legacy Christian all tied up at 7. And the Cardinals on the move right now in the all red going up against Frisco Legacy Christian. The Eagles in the green. Handoff up the middle. Nice chunk of change right there by the running back Adam Hollenbach again. And Adam Hollenbach can find those holes, and it's been averaging about 5 or 6 yards per carry. He's already got 37 touchdowns on the year, scored the first TD of this game on a 7-minute drive by Shiner St. Paul. Legacy Christian answered with a very impressive 45-yard drive of their own after a great return from Ovi Urebu. And here's the handoff right up the middle, and Adam Hollenbach up the gut for a touchdown. So Hollenbach with his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 38th of the season. And Shiner St. Paul takes a 13-7 lead.
Good job by Hollenbach, just, hey, believing that the hole's going to be there. Hit it like you live, hit it 100 miles an hour.
So this time looks like Shiner St. Paul kind of lining up like they were going to maybe try to run the ball in, but now they drop back into a extra point formation here. Ball is down, the kick is up, almost blocked, but it goes through. So an impressive drive by Shiner St. Paul. They take a 14-7 lead, and both of these teams have been pretty content with running the football, but I think the play-action pass was pretty key on that last drive right there, and that could be the story of the game. You know, I think about teams like the Houston Texans who really set up that play-action by a good ground game. You know, when you got Arian Foster running the football and you get the defense thinking you're going to run it all the time, that pass can really work out of the play action. And on that particular drive, Shiner St. Paul really taking advantage of not only what Adam Hollenbach can do, but when they weren't handing the ball off to him and using some play action, it was working too.
No doubt. There's going to come a time in this ball game, and it's coming up here quickly, where these teams, these defensive coordinators are going to have to make the adjustments to either stop the run, commit to stop the run, and be prepared for the play action. But at this point, it looks like anybody that has the ball last is going to be the one to go into halftime leading.
You know, we talked about before the game these two running backs, Ovi Urebu, wearing number 32 for Frisco Legacy Christian, and, of course, Adam Hollenbach. Both of these guys around 2,000 yards rushing this season. Both of them have been very impressive. And what's your thoughts early on looking at these two guys run the football?
Well, I mean, it is what it is. The proof is in the pudding. The guys that didn't have these types of numbers by just going out there being chopped liver every week. Both of these guys seem to be really solid, strong running backs who know what they're doing. They don't seem like they have an ounce of fear in their running styles. I'm looking at Hollenbach. Hollenbach hits the ball. They utilize him heavily. He hasn't wavered one bit, hasn't tapped on his helmet to come out of the game. Urebu hasn't had a whole lot of action, but the 1-2 runs that I saw, he looks like he's a low-to-the-ground runner, a guy who really expects to do well every time he touches the football.
Yeah, he has been impressive. Okay, here is the kickoff, and tackled is Blaine Billmeyer all the way back around the 18-yard line. Had no choice, had to pick that one up. Play like that can be a little dangerous when that defense is coming on. You're trying to decide if you want to short hop that or you want to, try to catch it in the air.
Well, there's several options. Ultimately, you would like to catch it out of the air, but if it does bounce, you need to be away from it so it doesn't take a crazy bounce and hit you. And option 3, just swat it out of bounds if you're close enough to the sideline.
That was Jared Markham wearing number 88 with the big tackle on the play, splitting a couple of blockers and making the hit. All right, so Frisco Legacy Christian now. The handoff to Rebu, and Rebu around the corner, about 5 yards the outside, using that stiff arm. Looks like one of those kind of players where he usually likes to use that stiff arm, but has to be a little bit careful about holding that football out there. You want to keep that ball kind of close inside around, the all 4 points, as they say.
Right. I can appreciate on the last play that the defender approached him about near the midsection. When you get a big guy coming at you, you don't want to take on the full brunt of his force. You want to cut him in half, utilize your leverage to its maximum potential, and get him out of bounds.
All right, so the pitch off now to Ovi, left side this time, and he is brought down. So nice defensive effort right there by the Cardinals. So that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 5. Cardinals did a nice job of sniffing this one out. You can see the linemen right there coming off their blocks and making some plays right there for Shiner St. Paul. That's what you need. They've got a good defensive line, and Robbie and Morgan and Pautek and Horn. Back to pass, looking downfield is Adam Beck, and he picks up some pretty good yardage, but he's going to be short of the 1st down. So that's going to bring up 4th and 1. Beck with over 1,300 yards passing this year and 29 touchdowns, and he was put in a position there where he needed to run it. And it looks like with a 4th down and perhaps a good yard and a half that Frisco Legacy Christian's going to go for it.
Solid defense by the Cardinals that last play.
Well, now the deep man drops back in a punt formation. They were kind of up close to the line. I thought they might be going for it here. And here is the punt. Cross midfield. No one back deep. And this one's going to bounce around to the 30-yard line. Let's call it about the 27, maybe 26-yard line as it rolls dead. And that's where the Cardinals will set up shop. So a good defensive stand right there by Shiner St. Paul.
Very much so. They look to play good team defense on that last series. See him flying around the ball. It was a sea of red on almost every play.
You see that coaching staff there for Frisco Legacy Christian. Head coach Andrew Embry. Doug Peehouse, the offensive coordinator. We'll see what he can call up here. Barrett Hartage on the defensive side of the coordinator. Also Kevin Hatcher, Ronnie Littleton, Scott McCollum, Mike Ralston. And Brad Knight and Bryant Lopez also on that coaching staff. Got to give the entire coaching staff some love sometimes. 14-7, Shiner St. Paul.
Anything else would be uncivilized.
Up the middle here for a couple of yards.
You know, Jeff, talking to the coaching staff of this Legacy Christian Academy team, they seemed really relaxed, given that this was a championship game. They didn't seem to be hyped up or overly excited about this. What do you think the reason
I think
that is?
I think the thought process is, you know, the kids already know what's at stake, and no need in trying to get them all nervous and overhyped. Sometimes teams come out with too much energy and they wear themselves out.
Yeah.
All right, Dakota Cresta back to pass, finds a receiver open, and a pickup of about 3 or 4 yards right there. Official's going to keep him inbound, so the clock will continue to move. But a nice little rollout here and able to find Dylan Barton open. Not sure why he was ruled inbounds there, but Barton nonetheless. Nice job there. 3rd down now and about 5. We'll call it 4. Ball on the 32-yard line. The I formation here, 3-back set. Receiver to the near side and far side. Handoff up the gut. Nice piece of running by Adam Hollenbach, and he is going 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Adam Hollenbach. His 3rd touchdown of the game. The Shiner St. Paul Cardinals extend their lead to 20-7, and the Hollenbach show is underway.
Well, we told everybody going in who the main man was in the running game for the St. Paul Cardinals, and here he is, never to disappoint. What I'm amazed by is the burst. Once he cleared the line of scrimmage, it was like he separated by about 10 yards and never gave an inch until he reached the end zone.
So 20-7, extra point pending here for Shiner St. Paul. They have looked nearly flawless on offense so far. Extra point is up. We got a flag down on the field. And it looks like a dead ball delay of our legal procedure. Tom Schultz there, the referee. The Legacy Sports Network is social media conscious. You can follow us on Twitter at Legacy Sports Net and like us on Facebook by going to facebook.com/Legacy Sports Network. And don't forget to download our mobile app in the iTunes Store and Google Play, the new Android market. All right, this time the extra point up, and it looks tried and true. So Shiner St. Paul takes a 21-7 lead at the 8-minute and 33 mark here of the second quarter. And Legacy Christian's going to have to find a way to step up a little bit more on defense, but right now they need their offense to get a little counter punch.
You need to answer right now. 21-14 would look a lot better than 21-7 going into halftime. That's for sure.
You talked about Ovi as the leading rusher in private schools in the DFW Metroplex. That's divisions 1, 2, and 3. There's a lot of good private school football up there in that Dallas-Fort Worth area. And also down in the Houston area as well, all over the state of Texas for that matter. Don't forget also tomorrow, 6-man football. Legacy Sports Network will be at Zephyr's Bulldog Stadium. Yours truly and Larry Centers out with the call. Fredericksburg Heritage taking on Seguin Lifegate. And also Dallas Covenant will battle Bernie Geneva. I got a chance to see Bernie Geneva last week against Huntsville Alpha Omega. And Geneva 45'd them, as they say, in 6-man football. And that's when you, of course, once they get to 45 points, past halftime, the game is stopped. But 6-man football, a little different. I know you were with us last year in Abilene and got a chance to be at the UIL championships over there in Shotwell Stadium. But it's a lot of fun. You know, they got to pitch out before they can pass it. 80-yard field, a little bit narrower than the traditional 11-man field. But we'll be in Zephyr for that one. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I think it's a bit more exciting than regular 11-man football as we know it. You know, they have so many little tricky things that they can do, little rule changes that make it, you know, leave you scratching your head when you see a guy in the end zone.
All right, here is the kickoff, and we'll see if Legacy Christian can battle back. Picking up some decent yardage just outside the 33-yard line, and that is Hunter Wood again. Hunter Wood, the deep man for Legacy Christian. And they will set up at the 33-yard line with 1st and 10. So important for Legacy Christian to answer, because right now they don't have an answer for Shiner St. Paul's offense. So right now perhaps their best defense is their offense, and we'll see what Frisco Legacy Christian can do. Shotgun formation. Adam Beck with the pass to the outside. Picking up about 7, maybe 10 yards. Good gain right there for a first down. That's what we got to do, elude that tackle and pick up some good yardage. And an opportunity there by Brian Marion to pick up a good first down.
Yes, sir. Nice quick hitting pass. Guy gets upfield immediately. That's a coaching point on this. No matter what level you play, the coaching point is when the ball touches your hands, get north and south. And that's what this guy does on this play.
So youngsters, if you're watching, you don't want to tackle up high. You either want to be in that midsection or even lower down there in the legs. Otherwise, that man's going to drag you for a while. Here's the pass from Beck to the outside. Completed. Across the 40. Down to the 31-yard line. Nice piece of running right there after the catch by Zach Snyder.
I love it when I see a team that characterizes themselves as a running team, but they also have a package where they can run the ball or throw the ball if they get behind or need some quick points. It's pretty impressive here.
So Zach Snyder there with a nice job of running. Plays tight end for Frisco Legacy Christian. He's got some good size, as you saw. Ovi Urebu takes the pitch to the 30, 25, breaks the tackle, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Ovi Urebu!
Didn't take him long to answer.
So just like that, it's Ovi time. 21-13. And Frisco Legacy Christian does get that answer.
I like that Ovi time.
It just kind of came out. Nice piece of running right there. Sporting that number 32. Doing a nice job of scoring the touchdown. The extra point pending. Up and looks good.
A couple of guys had a shot on him, had a shot at him that run. Guy does a great job of setting up his blocks, spinning, twisting, then turning the burst on to go get the pay dirt.
So Cameron Thrash adds the extra point. It's 21-14. So Shiner St. Paul up by 7 with 7:26 to play, and now important for Frisco Legacy Christian to try to get a stop. You know, you want to go into halftime knowing that your defense can make a stop, and right now they haven't been able to do it. Shiner St. Paul has scored a touchdown every time they've had the ball, all 3 possessions, but their offense is keeping them in the game, only down 21-14.
And that begs the question, does either of these teams have a punter on their roster?
I'm okay if we don't find out. Well, we do know that Frisco Legacy Christian did have 1 punt early on, but for the most part, yes, that was the only punt of the game. 7:26 to go here in the second quarter. The TAPPS Division III State Championship game. We're here at Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco. Jeff Power and Larry Centers joining you. Frisco Legacy Christian out of that Dallas-Fort Worth area, led by Andrew Embry, their head coach. I tell you, that Frisco area is growing like you wouldn't believe. They got their own minor league baseball team up there, the Frisco Rough Riders. I think I read where they've got, by 2014 or 2015, they're going to have, I think I read, 8 schools. And that's the UIL, and then you've got the TAPPS schools there as well, so it's about 10 schools when it's all said and done.
They're definitely growing in leaps and bounds. Before you know it, I think we'll be a metropolis all the way up to the Oklahoma border.
Larry living up in that Dallas-Fort Worth area, and this ball returned out by number 5, the slot back Martin Kennedy. So Shiner St. Paul will set up 1st and 10 on their own 29-yard line. Coming up at halftime, Brian Bunselmeyer will join us. He's the Associate Director of TAPPS Football. We'll also get a chance to talk a little bit about the games coming up tomorrow. I mentioned Midland Christian and Houston Northland on Comcast Sports, 11 a.m., followed by Fort Worth Nolan and Addison Trinity Christian at 3. Handoff up the middle, nothing doing this time. Looked like a flag came down there towards the end.
Usually in the area of holding.
You know, you hear coaches say it all the time. You know, they could call holding on almost every play if they wanted to, and it'll frustrate a coach when they happen to pick a play that, you know, you happen to like.
Yeah, a critical play, a critical moment in the ball game.
I'm almost thinking on that particular play, since they didn't really gain any yardage, not as big of a deal, but of course it is a 10-yard walk-off. Yeah, penalties will hurt you, especially in championship games. You don't want to make that field any longer.
You are absolutely correct.
So now 1st and 20, ball on the 19-yard line. We're inside 7 minutes. And the pitch out to the outside, and doing a nice job of using the stiff arm there is Martin Kennedy across the 40, 45, all the way out to the 50. Nice piece of running right there by Martin Kennedy.
Nice run, Mr. Kennedy.
Watch as he takes the pitch here, uses the stiff arm. Wow.
Doesn't take a lot of time in the movement to avoid the defender. Shakes off another guy.
Mouthpiece falling out.
Utilizing the offhand.
All the way up to the 50-yard line.
Great run, Mr. Kennedy.
As the clock continues to roll here, we're at midfield. 1st and 10 now for Shiner St. Paul. Under center, Dakota Cresta. And timeout called by Frisco Legacy Christian. The Eagles want to talk things over. This is a critical part of the game. You know, up to this point, your defense has not been able to stop Shiner St. Paul, so you want to talk things over. Make sure you've got your players in the right position to make the right play.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, each coach has had an opportunity to diagnose the differences in what he thought the other team was going to do and what they're actually doing. Now he needs to go over and relay that message to his team impromptu and hopefully get the best results out of it and get him to understand what he's trying to do, what the differences are.
In all your years of playing professional football, how important is that halftime speech, those adjustments, you know, that the coaches make at halftime to try to figure out what they're seeing out there and conveying that message to the players?
Extremely. I always say in my 14 years of playing in the NFL, that the third quarter is the most critical moment. The first few minutes of the third quarter is the most critical moment to when you'll be able to have a clear idea as to your likelihood of winning a ball game.
What kind of adjustments that your coaches make? The players' reaction? Do they come out with more momentum and energy in that third quarter?
Mainly the adjustments, but all of the above. All of the above. You have to make the necessary adjustments. I don't care what it is. Sometimes coaches just miss on game plans.
But there's time to adjust.
Absolutely.
All right, 1st and 10 here. And another penalty flag comes down. Looks like a false start once again.
And, of course, we had the benefit of having pictures to show formations on the sideline to make those adjustments. And I'm assuming that these high school kids don't have that luxury.
You know, some of the football teams now, you see these spread offenses all across the state of Texas. And it's all about making those adjustments at the line of scrimmage. A lot of times those players, they run up to the line, and then they look over to their coach if they don't snap it because they're trying to make an adjustment right there on what the defense is showing them. It's all about making that adjustment. 2-back set, faking the handoff. Cresta looking downfield. It's got a man open, and it is caught. 10 down to the 5-yard line, fighting his way around Obi Uribe, and tackled down at the 5-yard line. That is Martin Kennedy again, and Kennedy, this has been his drive. Sensational pickup right there, but what a beautiful pass. Dakota Crespa faking the handoff, looking downfield, and look at this strike. Put that ball right where it needed to be.
All I can say is Kennedy is a baller. The guy runs the ball, catches the ball. He's quietly a huge part of this team.
And Ovi Urebu there with the touchdown-saving tackle. So 1st and goal on the 5-yard line. Shiner St. Paul knocking on that door again, up 21-14. Handoff up the middle to Hollenbach, and he's in for his 4th touchdown. The ball does come out, but we do have an official signaling touchdown. So it should stand as a TD. Let's just confirm it. And it is a touchdown, as the head official Tom Schultz lets us know. And Shiner 4 for 4 now on their 4 possessions with touchdowns. You see Hollenbach there losing the handle right as he crossed the goal line. But it looks like the officials got the right call there. He was across that white line. That's all that matters.
When this Shiner offensive line gets down close enough to smell that goal line, I want you to watch the change in the way that they play and their intensity. These backs are walking into the end zone when they get close to the line of scrimmage.
Holes the size of...
Based on the play of the offensive line.
Correct. Extra point is good, 28-14. Shiner leading Frisco, 5:39 to play here in the first half. So Frisco Legacy Christian will get the ball here in just a moment. We'll see what they have. They'll need to answer this touchdown. And, you know, Shiner St. Paul, I like what Dakota Cresta is doing, too. I talked about this earlier. Man, it's like an offensive coach's dream. I mean, he's got everything's working. You know, Adam Hollenbach is taking care of business on the ground. But when they go to that play-action pass with Dakota Cresta and Martin Kennedy and Jared Markham, those guys are wide open. I mean, they're making some big plays because, you know, Frisco Legacy Christian is having to come up into the box and try to stop that run. And that's what happens. You know, Hollenbach's already got 4 touchdowns and over 100 yards rushing.
I hear you. Both of these teams are here not by happenstance. They played some heck of a ball during the season, and they each earned the position, the opportunity to play in the championship game. It's just a matter now of who's going to game plan whom to yield the best outcome and get their team the victory.
Hunter Wood back deep, wearing number 7. Also back deep for Legacy Christian is number 21, and that is Blaine Billmeyer. 28-14, Shiner St. Paul on top. I'm sure their defense is thinking right now, we need to make a stand too. Keep this a 2-touchdown game heading into the locker room. And here is the kickoff. By the way, worth mentioning, the kicker is Adam Hollenbach. This time it does go out of bounds. So Hollenbach plays offense, defense, and he kicks the ball, just in case.
And that's the only mistake I've seen him made today.
I hate to call him out there for the kick, but wow, he just does it all. So we'll see. It looks like Frisco Legacy Christian will take the ball maybe upfield at the 30.
We'll have to start calling him Adam Football, like Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel.
I remember covering Johnny Manziel over at Kerrville-Tivy. Saw him play Lake Travis. Saw a couple of the games he played, but that one against Lake Travis really impressed me. He's one of those players who's so elusive with his feet, and he can pass too. Don't anyone fool you. I know he likes to run it right now, but hey, when you're a freshman on that field for the first time, sometimes you run scared.
That could be a motivator, Jeff. Trust me.
All right, so ball on the 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Looking up deep downfield, and Wood makes the catch. 30, 25, 20, breaks to the outside, 10, 5, touchdown. Wow, just like that. Hunter Wood wide open downfield, and what a pass by their quarterback, Adam Beck. I mean, wide open. Look at Beck right here. I mean, this kind of came out of nowhere. You're thinking, let's just, try to run out the clock here, get a good long drive. No, they're going all out for it. Nice burst of speed right there, too, I might add, by Wood.
Beck, the lefty, put it right on the money, right on the money. And as you mentioned, what a burst of speed by Hunter Wood.
So a lot of offense so far in this one. The extra point is up, and it is good. Cameron Thrash with the extra point. It's now 28-21. So Shiner St. Paul leading Frisco Legacy Christian. It's been a great game so far, especially if you like offense.
We got a ball game going.
I think a lot of times in championship games, sometimes you'll find that two what appear to be very evenly matched teams, sometimes the game can be lopsided. A lot of times you'll have, for whatever reason, the game plan just didn't work as well for another team. But right now, both these offenses are making things happen. But the adjustments will have to be made by their defensive coaches and try to figure out how they can slow these two teams down.
Yes. The process of the playoffs tend to condition you to never give up, no matter what the score. And that's what I'm seeing here with these two teams. They've obviously won to this point. Nobody's going to quit on that football field out there tonight, in my opinion.
A lot of teams that traditionally go far into the playoffs, there's a reason why they do it. Because not only do they have good players, but they get that extra practice every year. Those extra 6 weeks in some cases of playing in a championship game. And with all those extra practices and all those extra games, they become better football players.
You know what they call that in a word? Experience.
There you go.
Playoff experience. They've been there.
You think about some of the runs, for example, Lake Travis. I mean, they went 77-3 in a 5-year span of winning 5 straight state championships. I mean, that's because each one of them schools played 16 games, each one of those teams, and they got to the point where they knew what plays worked, how to get them done, the whole 9 yards.
And one huge benefit, when you go into the playoffs year after year, you get to see what other people consider great players, great teams. And then you look and make a comparison with your team and realize they're not much better than we are.
Marco Incline there, receiving that ball. A little surprised about the onside kick there, if you will, but nonetheless, Shiner St. Paul will get things started at the 40. I understand the concept. Your defense is having trouble stopping them. Maybe you can get an onside kick and get the ball, get this thing tied up going into halftime. Love a good football game, and I tell you, there's nothing better than Texas high school football. Handoff right up the middle. Hollenbach, 45, out to the outside, uses the stiff arm, picks up a first down, is still on his feet, down to the 44-yard line. Got some great blocking there, and making the tackle on the play is number 21, Blaine Billmeyer. But not before a first down. We're going to get a nickname for Adam Hollenbach.
He is certainly a football player. We can nickname him whatever you want to call him. but he is a true football player from what I've seen.
Let's just call him the Bach. You know what? How about the Shiner Bach?
Shiner Bach.
Not that we're couldn't resist that one. All right, 44-yard line, 1st and 10. 28-21, Shiner St. Paul in the lead. And another gain here by Hollenbach out to the 39-yard line. So pick up about 5 yards there for Hollenbach. And again, the St. Paul Cardinals, pretty familiar territory. This is a team that has, throughout the years, have had some great football teams. And as has Frisco Legacy Christian. You know, we talked about, finding a way to get back to the playoffs year after year, and these two teams have been able to do that. Jumbo package, if you will, handoff up the gut, and that's Martin Kennedy to the outside. 25-20, breaks a tackle to the 10. He's trying to get into the end zone. And he's got it. Touchdown. Wow. What a run right there for the St. Paul Cardinal.
He might be coming back.
Martin Kennedy, but this one is coming back. But keep that one queued up for the highlight reel for a little bit later on as we take a look at this play. Nice little running play right there. I like that. You kind of get a little misdirection going on. And how about the block downfield? Marco inclined with a great block, and I thought he slipped in right there, and it looked like it was ruled a touchdown, but unfortunately for Shiner St. Paul, this one's coming back. Holding. So, yeah, those holding penalties, we talked about that earlier. You hate to see it on a big play like that.
Oh, yes, man. It's a killer. It's a momentum killer more than anything else.
And that was one of them holds that you're just trying to keep that man – you got to keep your man lined up for about a half a second because you're just wanting your back to get by you. And he got caught.
I think you can get away with it.
I like the fact in high school football they don't call out the player's name. I do actually like that. All right, hanging on to the ball right here is the quarterback, Dakota Cresta. And he's down to the 37-yard line. And we're inside 4 minutes now, 3:50 mark, 28-21. Shiner St. Paul leading Legacy Christian out of Frisco. I've noticed a lot of teams that are the Cardinals are red. A lot of teams that are the Eagles are green. What's up with that?
I have no idea, but you are right.
You played for the Tatum Eagles. They had a good season this year. Came up a little short last week.
And the Arizona Cardinals. They were red.
Yeah, Arizona Cardinals. All right, so 3rd down now, 3rd and 3. And here comes Hollenbach again, down to the 35. Is going to be a little short of the 1st down. So Adam Hollenbach can't quite get to the 34. And that's going to bring up an interesting 4th and 1 call. What do you think? You've scored every time you've had the ball. You think you're probably deep enough now where you're going to go for it because – why kick it? I mean, if the ball goes in the end zone, you only pick up 10 yards.
Yeah, you're definitely in no man's land. So you either pooch it or you
run the play.
Go for it.
Timeout. Yeah, so apparently Dakota Cresta didn't like what he saw and called a quick timeout. But, those kind of timeouts are understandable. Both teams now have used one timeout here in the first half. So with 2:38 to play in the first half, the ball is on the 35-yard line. Let's talk about this play right here. You saw what they came out in, kind of I keep referring to it as like a jumbo package, but in reality, this is their offense. This is what Shiner St. Paul likes to run.
The play prior to the timeout, it's called I don't know who called the timeout, but it's called a Kodak timeout, where basically you want the timeout going onto the field, but you want to see what type of formation you'll be facing.
So you want to give them the impression you're going to run the play to make their defense come up true and show you what they are doing, and then run back over to your coach and say, okay, here's what they're doing.
Right.
I like that. Kodak timeout. Picture in time. You been impressed so far?
So far, I've been extremely impressed with the running backs. The passing game, rather impressed. They've connected on quite a few long plays. I don't see a whole lot of short passes, dinks and dunks. That's something I'd like to see each team incorporate into their repertoire. But, hey, if it's working, it got you this far, Why change a thing?
I was going to say 28-21. It's all working right now on offense. All right, 4th and 1. Here we go. 3-back set. Handoff up to Hollenbach, and he gets the first down and is tackled at the 29-yard line. So I think we all knew Hollenbach was going to get the carry there, but he did a nice job of not only eluding the first tackle, but making sure he had enough for the first down and then some. Kind of bounced off.
He hits the hole 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, you hear coaches talk about that. Well, the hole's there. You got to run to it, you know. Sometimes players kind of take their time getting the ball, and before you know it, the hole closes. All right, so 1st and 10, ball on the 29-yard line for Shiner St. Paul. Hollenbach picks up a couple here before being tackled. Clock's going to become a bit of a factor here as we ease inside 2 minutes now.
I think each team has a timeout left, right? 2
timeouts for each team. Shiner St. Paul here, the way they run the football, they need to be a little bit more aware of that clock, and they're content with letting it move right now. At the same time, you don't want to give Frisco Legacy Christian much time on the clock when you're done scoring. Of course, we're here at Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco. This stadium has seen a lot of state championship games. It's, you know, kind of a center point for maybe the teams in the San Antonio, Austin area on through the Dallas-Fort Worth area. A lot of teams that have been up down that I-35 corridor play right here. Handoff, picking up about 3 or 4 yards on the carry, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 5. Looks like, and we are approaching 1 minute now. And coming onto the field is number 1, Marco Incline. Great name, by the way. Spells it Y-N-C-L-A-N, but it's pronounced Incline. That's one way to keep it up. All right, here we go. 3rd down. About 5 needed for the first. Keeping the ball is the quarterback, Cressman. He picks up the first down, is brought down at the 14-yard line, so nice gain and a nice job of getting out of bounds, too, yes, and stopping that clock with 42 seconds. Read that defensive end. Might have wanted to pitch that ball off. Sure looked like Martin Kennedy had some wide open turf on that far left side, but you want to make sure you can pick up that first down, and if you can, get out of bounds, and that's exactly what Crespa did right there.
That's probably one of the most impressive things about the run is that he had the presence of mind to save the clock and get out of bounds.
Ball on the 15-yard line, 1st and 10, 42 seconds to play. St. Paul with the ball. Hollenbach across the 5, down to the 4-yard line. Nice pickup of about 6 yards there, down to the 9, but the clock rolls. Might want to call a timeout. And it looks like right now that there will be a timeout called. Let's just double check. Yep. I think Shiner St. Paul was, their head coach, Jake Walksmith, was a little concerned about the time they were taking to get up to the line of scrimmage and decided, let's just go ahead and call a timeout.
I think that's a good call. You know, why get everybody up in an uproar? Let's be exact about what we want to do. It's a critical moment in the ball game to get this score. Going in with a 2-score lead. Much better than coming away with nothing.
What do you think? Take a shot at the end zone right here or try to run it one more time? You still got one more timeout.
He's running the ball so well, I will probably go with an option route, an option play, and possibly try to either pitch it or keep it and get out of bounds.
I'm thinking play action pass.
Knowing that you still got this. You thinking play action?
I'm thinking play action.
We'll see.
Well, because then with the play action pass, you've got at least 2 or 3 shots at it. But you're right. If they're going to run it, they need to run it right here on this next play because they won't be running it after this play.
Yeah.
So Shiner St. Paul under head coach Jake Walksmith up to the line of scrimmage.
One thing I'm paying attention to more and more is this Shiner offensive line unit and blocking scheme unit is getting better as the game goes on. You look at the sea of red going beyond the line of scrimmage, and that'll give you an indication of how well you're running the football.
Handoff. Oh, fake. It is play action. The pass the outside, and unable to come up with it is Kennedy, but they did run the play action pass. They faked the handoff to Hollenbach, and we're looking for their other go-to man, and that's the slot back receiver, Martin Kennedy, but Kennedy couldn't hang on to it. That ball was just a little bit too high for him. but nonetheless only took about 4 seconds off the clock.
Not bad.
So right now, 3rd and 4, maybe the most important thing is getting that first down. They need to get to the 5. It is 3rd and 4, 19 seconds left. See, now I'm thinking you run the football and then you call that timeout. We'll see. One receiver to the near side. That's Jared Markham. 3-back set. Under center, Crespa hands the ball off to Hollenbach. Picks up the first down and more. He's into the end zone for a touchdown. And Adam Hollenbach with his 5th touchdown on the game. And just like that, Shiner St. Paul takes a 34-21 lead with 13 seconds to play here in the first half. Hollenbach, he gets down near that goal line and he can just smell it.
Yes, he can. Good running between the tackles.
Yeah, you're right. They that offensive line for Shiner St. Paul, they have done a fantastic job, especially down around the goal line where that's some tough yardage. Laddie Potek, Travis Raby, Tyler Morgan, Austin Horn. Very impressive job up front. So the extra point is up and good. And St. Paul takes a 35-21 lead with only 13 seconds left. Nice job there of milking that clock all the way down, leaving Legacy Christian very little time to do anything here on their next possession. That's the key of football. You think about all the little things that go on, you know, not wanting to score too quickly to give your opponent too much time, but at the same time, you want to score. So, it's a fine line. Do you want to run it? Do you want to pass it? When do you go to that play action pass? I mean, these offensive coordinators, they know what they're doing. It comes with practice.
Yes. I've always been a fan of getting the ball in the end zone if you can get the ball in the end zone. You know, I don't think you let time take precedence over scoring or not scoring. I think you let time take precedence over the type of play that you utilize to potentially get that score. Like a running play to keep the clock going and so on.
Well, you know, Shiner St. Paul, 9-4, a team that was banged up early in the year, had to overcome some injuries. They just look like they've been on a roll in the postseason. I mean, they have found their groove, and you'll find that with a coaching staff. They just finally realized that, you know what, these 10 plays work really well. Let's stick with those 10 plays. Forget about the other 15 to 20 that we don't do well. Let's stick with the 10 we do run well.
Do what you do well and ride it till they stop it.
And here is the kickoff, and the clock winding down to about 7 seconds. And that was Hunter Wood bringing it out to the 37, maybe 38-yard line. So perhaps a Hail Mary opportunity here, or maybe do you just take a knee? I mean, they are 62 yards away from the end zone.
I don't know. I think you take a knee. This is a championship game, but take a knee, take your guys in the locker room, get a little extra time to go in there and just kind of show them where they are. Just come back out and win a ball game. You're only 14 points down. Plenty of time to win a ball game.
4 defensive backs back deep, a good 30 yards down the field, expecting some sort of Hail Mary. And a screen pass here. Probably a nice call. Here comes Ovi to the outside. He loses the ball, though, and somehow manages to fall back on it. Good for him, because I was thinking, oh, that is exactly what they did not need. It looked like a play that could go 60 yards the other way, but instead it just goes down as a dropped ball. And it is Shiner St. Paul leading 35-21 over Frisco Legacy Christian. We're here at halftime. We'll bring you a halftime show. We'll talk more TAPPS football across the state of Texas. We'll get you set up for the championship games tomorrow, including 6-man and 11-man football. We'll be right back with much more.
the Frisco home.
And welcome back to Floyd Casey Stadium. It is the Division III TAPPS State Championship game, and wow, it's been an impressive first half, especially if you like offense. Of course, Shiner St. Paul leading right now 35-21 over Frisco Legacy Christian. And give me your thoughts, Larry, about this game so far. It's sort of been the Adam Hollenbach show with 5 touchdowns on the offensive end.
And Hollenbach definitely didn't disappoint us coming into this game. We knew he was the strong arm of that football team in the running game. And he came out, scored 5 touchdowns on I don't know how many carries. He's probably averaging upwards of about 8 yards a carry right now, and he did not disappoint whatsoever.
And how about that offensive line so far in the game? I mean, Shiner St. Paul's done a nice job of moving the defensive line away from the ball, especially when they get down around the goal line.
Yeah, I've been impressed with that. You know, it looks like they're getting warmer as they go. The closer they get to the goal line, the more they seem to be a sea of red going beyond the line of scrimmage. And whenever you see that, you can rest assured that your running back is picking up some positive yards.
So if you're Legacy Christian, what are you talking about at halftime right now, and how are you going to get back in this game down 35-21?
Well, I think if you're Legacy Christian Academy, one thing you have to do is you have to get back to what you do well. You can't abandon what got you here. You're in the championship game for a reason. Let's stick to what got us here. Let's just do it a little bit better than we've done it. Eliminate the mistakes and trust that we're a good football team that can win this championship.
We know Frisco Legacy Christian can score, but maybe the key is can they stop Shiner St. Paul? They haven't done it so far in the first half. 5 for 5 on touchdown drives in the early going here for the Cardinals. They've scored on every possession. They do take a 35-21 lead at the break. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll bring you some highlights and much more. This is the Legacy Sports Network, and you're watching TAPPS Division III Championship Football from here in Waco. And welcome back to Floyd Casey Stadium here in Waco, where Shiner St. Paul is leading Frisco Legacy Christian 35-21. It is halftime. A lot of offense so far in this one. We'll break it down for you in just a moment. We want to remind you that there are big games all over the state of Texas when it comes to TAPPS football. We've got a team from the greater Houston area coming up here to Waco. That's Houston Northland Christian taking on Midland Christian. That game being played at 11 a.m. tomorrow. And also Fort Worth Nolan taking on Addison Trinity Christian. That game will kick off at 3 o'clock. And then don't forget, over in Zephyr, 6-man football over at Bulldog Stadium. This is the TAPPS 6-man championships. Fredericksburg Heritage taking on Seguin Lifegate. Battle of a couple of Central Texas teams. That game will be played at noon. And then Dallas Covenant will take on Bernie Geneva, and that game will be played at 5 o'clock. So the Division I and Division II championships going on in 6-man TAPPS football down in Zephyr. And, of course, the 11-man title right up here at Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco. And you know what? Earlier in the week, the area's top private school players and coaches were honored by the Touchdown Club of Houston at the first ever private high school awards dinner. Now, Todd, the Offensive Player of the Year was at St. Pius quarterback Cole Stewart. The top defensive honor went to Episcopal's Blake Henningsen. Also, Kincaid's Macon Wilson won the Iron Man of the Year. St. Thomas Eagle Parker White was Lineman of the Year, and St. John's Steve Cleaves won the Coach of the Year. And while virtually all the awards finalists had closed out their respective seasons, that wasn't the case for the guys from Northland Christian, who were preparing this week for Saturday's TAPPS Division II state championship game against Midland Christian. Let's hear now from their head coach David Nelson and Carter Odenweller.
The key to our success is I've got great coaches who help me, and I've got a bunch of great kids who love each other and play for each other instead of just themselves.
It's gone great. We're 12-0. Couldn't have asked for better teammates. We're definitely brothers on the team. We play for each other every week. Our coaches make us who we are. They definitely lead us up the way we need to be led up and the way men should be brought up, and definitely happy with the season so far.
All right, so that was Carter Odenweller there from Northland Christian. He is the running back, and also his head coach David Nelson before him, the Northland Christian head coach. So they will have themselves quite a battle tomorrow with Midland Christian right here at Waco's Floyd Casey Stadium here at Baylor University. Also Fort Worth Nolan and Addison Trinity Christian will do battle at 3 o'clock. The bands are now coming onto the field right now. We'll break down the highlights of this game here in just a few minutes. Shiner St. Paul leading Frisco Legacy Christian 35-21. Jeff Power and, of course, Larry Centers with you. What do you say we take a listen here to the Shiner St. Paul Cardinals, and we'll be back to talk football with you in about 5 minutes.
Let's hear it for the Cardinals. Thank you for your attention and support. Have a safe trip home. Go Cardinals.
And welcome back to Floyd Casey Stadium here in Waco. This is the home stadium for the Baylor Bears, and tonight it is Division III TAPPS State Championship football. Shiner St. Paul 35 and Frisco Legacy Christian 21. Jeff Power And also, of course, Larry Centers with us here in the press box. Let's talk about this first half a little bit, Larry, and kind of break things down and talk about how we got to this point. It was really an offensive showcase in the first half. I mean, neither team's defense could make any stands. There was only one punt, in fact, in the entire first half. Let's roll some of the highlights here and get a feel for what happened in case you're just joining us. I tell you what, it's been a good, strong ground game, and that has been key, and this man has been the man doing it. I'm talking about Adam Hollenbach. Look how he busts through there, and then he's off to the races. He goes all the way down for a touchdown, 1 of 5 touchdowns. Yes, he's accounted for all 5 touchdowns for Shiner St. Paul, and that burst of speed was sensational, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, and the way he fought his way through the offensive line was – or defensive line was actually impressive, also impressive. We knew this would be a running game, a running team. Ovi Arebu has also done a good job. But we knew going into this game that this was going to be a running matchup. What we didn't realize was there was going to be very little tackling going on the defensive sides of the ball.
So there's Ovi right there, Arebu finding his way into the end zone. That was an impressive run. That tied things up. And this game was kind of going back and forth. We got into a little bit of a groove where, like, neither team could stop each other. But you know what also works for these teams? When they can go to a little play-action pass, that seems to work. When you've got a good, strong running game, it'll open up the pass. And Adam Beck, watch this dart right here. Perfect pass all the way downfield to a wide-open receiver. Had a good 3 or 4 yards on his man, and that's Wood right there with the catch. And he's off to the races around the outside. Hunter Wood is. As you can see him heading into the end zone. So you need to see more of this if you're Frisco Legacy Christian, more of that offensive style, that explosiveness they got, but they need their defense to step up and stop this man. And he's been the story. Adam Hollenbach again with the touchdown run right up the gut. Most of those yards he had in this first half, all right up the middle.
Hey, the offensive line has gotten extremely tough and nasty down by the goal line. Anytime I've seen them inside of the 10-yard line, it looks like at the snap of the ball, the line of scrimmage suddenly moves about 2 yards forward. Anytime you have that happening, you're going to have success in the running game.
All right, so 35-21, Shiner St. Paul, the Cardinals leading the Frisco Legacy Christian Eagles. Let's take a quick timeout, and we'll get you set up for third quarter action here in the TAPPS Division III State Championship game. And welcome back to Floyd Casey Stadium here in Waco. 35-21, Shiner St. Paul leading Frisco Legacy Christian. Jeff Power and, of course, Larry Centers joining us here at the halftime. Give me your thoughts, Larry, about this matchup as we go now towards the third quarter. What do you think Frisco Legacy Christian is going to need to do to get back in this game?
Frisco Legacy needs to play much better defense in order to win this game. If they expect to go home with the championship, they have got to stop the run. I would even neglect some of these passing plays until I got the run under control. Go to man-to-man, do whatever you have to do. But the running game is killing them to this point.
Let's talk about maybe early on, we talked about the matchups, the three top players for each team. Let's talk about Frisco Legacy Christian and some of their players and what we kind of expected when this game started. What were we looking for? What did we expect on that side of the ball? Well, I tell you what, Adam Beck, their quarterback, has done a nice job, as has Hunter Wood, their receiver. But really the real deal, I think, is Ovi Uribu. If he can get him going in the third quarter, who knows what will happen.
Yeah, they have to get Ovi into the game plan more. He's done some good things. He scored a good touchdown, broke a few tackles there for him, and kept them in this ball game. But if he's your go-to guy, and you've relied on him, you're Legacy Christian Academy, and you relied on him this whole season, you can't get to the championship game and forget what his name is.
All right, how about Shiner St. Paul? Let's talk about their squad and what they maybe need to do to keep rolling. Obviously, maybe play a little better defense as well, but their offense, I mean, they have been almost unstoppable.
Well, obviously, the score indicates that they're playing better football right now, and it's accurate. They're playing better team football than the Legacy Christian Academy team is playing right now. What the team has to do, what Shiner St. Paul has to do going forward in this game is they have to continue to play solid in the running game, play better defense, and stop the run, because I don't see the other team, I don't see Legacy Christian having just a solid defense, solid enough to stop them and overcome a 14-point lead.
And it has been the Adam Hollenbach story. He has got all 5 touchdowns for Shiner St. Paul. They are leading it right now, 35-21. Let's take one more quick break, and we'll be back with the third quarter here on the Legacy Sports Network. It's the TAPPS Division III Championship from here at Floyd Casey Stadium. We'll be right back.
I kind of got hung up on my team.
Welcome back to Floyd Casey Stadium here in Waco, where Shiner St. Paul leads Frisco Legacy Christian 35-21. We're getting ready to start the third quarter here. Both teams have been very impressive on the offensive side of the ball, and it's good for Frisco Legacy Christian that they get the ball first here to start the third quarter.
Yeah, Frisco Legacy Academy is going to have to do a great job, come out, make a strong statement in this first opening drive of the third quarter. If they're able to do that, I think they can equalize this thing and gain the momentum to really give their team the thought that they can possibly, potentially win this football game.
So let's talk about, you mentioned earlier that the keys of coming out of that halftime, the speech you get from your coach, what you need to do as far as adjustments. This is a pretty big part of the game, especially for Frisco Legacy Christian. They need to score a touchdown here and then play some defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so the kickoff here by Adam Hollenbach, and back deep to return it, picking up some decent yards before being swarmed under, and I believe that was Wood there on the carry as he gets out to about the 25-yard line. Yeah, Hunter Wood. So they'll set up shop now on their own 29-yard line, 1st and 10. Frisco Legacy Christian with the ball. Swarming defense right there by Shiner St. Paul. And heading up to the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers near side, 2 receivers far side. Single back, Ovi Uribu. And he takes the handoff right up the middle, up to the 33 before being tackled. And great job right up there the gut by Adam Hollenbach on the tackle.
I'd like to see Legacy Christian get Ovi in open space. I mean, I don't know how he's gained the majority of his yards throughout this season. But one thing I can see based on what I'm looking at on the defense on the opposite side of the ball, he needs to be in space in order to get the most out of his yardage.
Ovi Urebu, the leading rusher in all private schools, takes the handoff here. Gets to the outside before being tackled out of bounds around the 35, so it's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and 4 call. So it looks to me like so far Shiner St. Paul, the Cardinals have been kind of keying here in the early going in the 3rd quarter on Ovi. And you see tripping him up right there was number 21, Adam Hollenbach. So 3rd down and 4, just underway, 3rd quarter. Legacy Christian trailing 35-21, looking downfield, and Wood cannot come up with it. He got a hand on it, but Hunter Wood, that ball was just a little too high for him. And it's going to be 4th and 5 now, so a punting situation here. Ball just sailed on him just a bit.
Well, the general rule is if the ball touches your fingers, your hands, it should be caught.
Any receiver will probably tell you that. So here we go, punting situation. And this is Thrash to punt. Cameron Thrash. And the ball is blocked. It's on the ground, and it looks like it's picked up by Ovi Urebu. But nonetheless, that means St. Paul, the Cardinals will have the ball on the 18-yard line of Frisco Legacy Christian, as that is not what they can afford to have happen. Great job on the block right there by Martin Kennedy. What an athletic play right there by Kennedy, getting around his block and still getting a hand on the ball. You know, you can touch the punter's foot as long as you touch the ball first. And it's painful, I might add. I'm sure you played some special teams in your day.
Yes, sir.
So, ball on the 18, looks like a busted play right there as the quarterback for Shiner St. Paul had to pretty much drop to a knee there. That was Dakota Cresta. Looked around to hand it off, and there was no one there, so ends up picking up maybe a yard. Actually loses 2 yards. Take that back. So 2nd and 12. Ball on the 20-yard line. Clock moving. Just underway, 3rd quarter. Frisco Legacy Christian on a 3 and out. We're forced to punt. Ball was blocked by Martin Kennedy. 3-back set. 1 receiver to the far side. Handoff up the middle to Hollenbach. Picks up some good yardage all the way to the 11. That gets some of that yardage back for him. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4. Down on the 12-yard line of Legacy Christian. So St. Paul in the all-red uniforms. 9 and 4 on the season. Going up against 11 and 1 Frisco Legacy Christian. But right now, it has been the Adam Hollenbach show. He wears number 21. He's the deep man. As they get set, here's the handoff to Hollenbach. Up the middle, 5, touchdown. That is number 6 on the evening as Adam Hollenbach scores his 6th touchdown. And Shiner St. Paul opens up a 41-21 lead here in the 3rd quarter.
This is just a great run by Alan Hollenbach. Cuts back, keeps his eyes open. He's only touched by 1 guy. Keeps his head down, pad level low, goes for pay dirt. It's textbook. That's the way you draw it up in the film room.
Adam Hollenbach, 6 touchdowns, well over 100 yards rushing, over 2,000 yards in the season. Has now 42 touchdowns on the year. Impressive. I think he's trying to win some MVP honors. What do you think?
He's well on his way.
Yeah, he's got my vote.
Now, I have to ask this question. Last year, Jonathan Gray with the Lido scored 8 touchdowns in a championship game. Last year, Jonathan Gray with the Lido scored 8 touchdowns in a championship game, which was a Texas record. Does do the TAPPS rules apply where the UIL rules apply?
Well, I mean, interesting that you bring that up, because actually earlier this year, this kind of came up in a topic where, and yes, they do, but this came up in a topic earlier with a running back by the name of Lance Morris, who plays for Ira, six-man football, and he set the all-time state rushing record in the state of Texas. But people question whether or not a six-man running back should be in the same level as an 11-man running back. And basically, it's just understood that, hey, he owns the record for the most yards in Texas high school football on the ground. Now, if you want to put a little asterisk by it and say it was six-man or something, that's your own business. But I think everyone in, well, definitely in six-man country is going to tell you that that is the state record when it comes to running the football. In TAPPS, they do have their own records, but I do also believe that, you know, they respect both the UIL and TAPPS respects each other's records. And you know a good player when you see one. 42-21. Shiner St. Paul in the lead right now, and needless to say, Frisco Legacy Christian needs to respond. As this ball is kicked, kind of squibbed down the field and picked up by number 12 right there for Legacy Christian, and that is Tanner Lee. So they'll set up shop now on their own, we'll call it the 30, looks like 35-yard line. Big hit right there. Hey, man, when you're on special teams, you only get one or two chances to really make a hit. You might as well make it worth your time out there. That was Jared Markham, number 88, with that big hit. So shotgun formation. Legacy Christian with the ball. 1st and 10, ball on their own 37. Under pressure, getting away now, Adam Beck. And he is met out of bounds rather rudely up around the 38. Very little, if any, gain. So we'll give him maybe a yard. Bring up 2nd and 9 for Frisco Legacy Christian.
Good job of Adam trying to keep a play alive, trying to make something happen. I think we'll see a steady dose of them throwing the ball from here forward.
So Frisco Legacy Christian with the ball. Say 2nd and 10. Shotgun formation. Adam Beck with the pass, and it's picked off! Corner of the field, nice acrobatic play, and that is number 1. Love his name, Marco Incline with the interception right there, and he's on the incline with that play right there. Look at the concentration. Ball deflected, and Incline right there at the right place, making the pick, and he's out of bounds around the 44-yard line. We'll call it 43. But a nice job. You got to play heads-up ball. Look for that tip drill. It'll help you out at practice because he was right where he needed to be.
A good hustle play by Incline, being around the football.
So ball on the 43-yard line. Shiner St. Paul trying to stick the dagger now, and Frisco Legacy Christian up big, 42-21, looking for more. Handoff up the middle. Breaking to the outside is Martin Kennedy. Picks up about 3 or 4 yards, maybe 5 yards out to the outside. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 5. Ball on the 38. I think Shiner St. Paul, they can kind of smell blood right now. They know that they can go a long way in securing a state championship. Martin Kennedy, you see on the year, over 900 yards rushing, averaging almost 10 yards a carry. I think when he gets the ball, it's almost like a surprise because Adam Hollenbach usually gets it. And when Kennedy gets it, he springs free a lot.
Martin Kennedy is my unsung hero for this football team so far during this ballgame.
Keeping the ball to the outside now is the quarterback, and doing a nice job of picking up some decent yardage right there is Dakota Cresta. All the way down to about the 23-yard line.
Pulled down by Caleb Palmer. Good job of continuing the hustle by Caleb.
You might notice right there also a nice job by Dakota Cresta keeping that ball away from the defender. When you're running towards that out-of-bounds line, you want to make sure that you've got the ball facing out of bounds, so if it does come loose, it's got a better chance of being fumbled out of bounds. 8:26. Third quarter, handoff to Hollenbach. Up the middle. How about number 7? There's another touchdown run by Adam Hollenbach. 7 touchdowns now for Hollenbach. And it is now 48-21 Shiner St. Paul. Look at that hole right up the middle, Larry.
What a hole, what a gash. He's constantly using his eyes, looking for the next defender. Guy's just quick, a little bit too quick for the other team.
When you get that hole, you got to get to it, and I haven't seen too many players get to that hole faster than Adam Hollenbach, at least not at the high school level. So nice piece of running right there, and he runs with some strength and power too.
I agree. Very low center of gravity. And what I've noticed earlier in the game, he's not afraid to mix it up. He doesn't mind contact. That's a characteristic that you must have at the running back position.
So 49-21, Shiner St. Paul leading Frisco Legacy Christian. If you're Frisco Legacy Christian, you got to stay within yourself. There's still plenty of time left in this game. 8:18 to go in the third quarter. Now you're down by 4 touchdowns, but they proved in the first half they could move the ball. They need to find a way to put some consistent plays together and try to score a touchdown. They can't get it all back in one play. Try to put a drive together. Try to avoid a 3-and-out like they did last time, which resulted in a blocked punt.
I completely agree. One thing that disturbs me as I look at this Legacy Academy Christian School team, their body language is nowhere close to being where it was when we first started this ball game. They're starting to droop their shoulders and kind of walk around the field. You know, not but a few guys still have a little bounce in their steps. They got to pick it up and realize that they can win this ball game. There's still plenty of time if they go out and do what they've been trained to do and what they've done all season.
So, kicking off here for the Cardinals, Adam Hollenbach. 49-21, Shiner St. Paul leading Frisco Legacy Christian. Back deep for the Eagles, Hunter Wood. And he's going to take the ball around the 20. Gets a block, 25, 30, brought down around the 32-yard line. Flag comes down late. Usually when you see a flag that late on a play like this, could be a face mask. Of course, most of the time on any kind of kickoff or punt return, it's usually a block in the back, but let's get the call. Tom Schultz, the referee.
Look, a block in the back.
Yeah, so that illegal block in the back, we'll bring it back. Let's see if we can pick up the illegal block. Sometimes when you have a play like that kind of is a slow developing play, your blockers are put in a position, it's a compromising position.
Yeah.
So you saw the block right there at the end, huh?
Yeah, top of the screen.
All right, so here we go. 1st and 10. Check that. Yeah, 1st and 10, ball on their own 23-yard line. They hand off to Uwe Uribo, and he gets some good yardage and picks up a first down out to the 34-yard line. I think it's important for the Eagles to stick with what they were doing best in the first half. That is running the football. Try to get the ball out to Uribo when you can. Don't be so gung-ho on passing the ball right now. You need to get a touchdown, but it's going to come by setting up a good drive.
Yes, I think at some point their style of play, their running the ball style of play is going to be a liability given the amount of time they have left.
And here is Rebu again, this time brought down around the 36-yard line. And on the defensive side, Austin Horn there getting off his block and making a big tackle. You know, I'm looking at the screen here, Shiner St. Paul. We got STP on there, and it seems to be kind of fitting because they've been high octane on offense so far in this game, up 49-21. I think Frisco Legacy, the Eagles feel at this point that, you know, their main thing is running the football, but they're going to have to pass it. And here's the ball to the outside. Good pass play, pick up about 6 yards. That'll bring up 3rd and short. 3rd and 2.
3rd and 2. I'm sure we'll see Obi Uribo on the next play.
Adam Beck there with the good pass. Sometimes you talked about that earlier in the first half, Larry, about the quick passing route. Sometimes that'll open things up for you when you're a running team. I know a lot of teams out there who pass the ball a lot will use that play right there as almost like a running play. I mean, that's like the old run and shoot run play right there.
Yes. Everybody has their own preferences, obviously. My preference has always been to be multi-dimensional from an offensive standpoint. You don't want to have any one defensive coordinator, in my opinion, be able to come in and take away your whole go-to scheme.
Ovi Rebu there. Looks like he picked up about a half a yard, if that, and it's going to bring up an interesting call. They're going to have to come out and measure this one. It's going to be 4th and short, it looks like. Let's see. Official's going to bring out the chains for a measurement. Got the ball placed down. Always find it interesting with the chains. You know, they don't care much about the chain in the back. They just make sure that they place it down on a yard line and then stretch it out from there. You place it down on that actual, like in this case, the 35. When you stretch it out, you just need the rest of the chain, and it looks like it's going to be just a little bit short. About 2 inches, looks like. So here we go, 4th down. I think you go with Ovi right at the gut right here. He's got that power, and you need that in this kind of play. But I tell you what, I mean, little play action from him. Who knows, right?
QB sneak wouldn't be out of the question.
Probably not lining up in that shotgun formation, but Adam Beck, we'll see what he does here.
It would be extremely – my sideways.
And they do not get it. Ovi Rebu is brought down short of the line of scrimmage, so that will be a turnover on downs as the St. Paul Cardinal defense once again steps up big. So what happened right there, Larry?
Well, there's no power in a turned body. Once he got turned, momentum goes to 0.
Best thing to do is just take that one right up the middle.
Take it right up the middle.
You only need a yard, right?
Quarterback sneak.
Not even a yard, 5 inches. All right, so 49-21. Shiner St. Paul with the ball now, 6:04, third quarter. And the handoff to Adam Hollenbach. And he's met at the line right there. Good tackle by number 79 up front on that defensive side of the ball for Legacy Christian.
Check, that was Mitchell Elroy.
All right, so now brings up 2nd and 10. I think Shiner St. Paul pretty content to run the football here and milk that clock. And with Adam Hollenbach accounting for all of the touchdowns, all 7 of them for Shiner St. Paul, look for him to get a few more carries here. And the handoff up the middle, it did look like that was Hollenbach again, and very little going on that left side of the ball as the defense for Frisco Legacy Christian steps up.
That Alan Hollenbach is a beast. He's a top-notch football player.
So here we go, 3rd down. Big play right here. Frisco Legacy Christian's got to be thinking that Shiner St. Paul's going to try to run the ball. It's 49-21, 4:45 and counting, third quarter. And the Cardinals content to take their time here and milk that clock down, and it's going to go all the way down. Looks like they're going to maybe take a quick timeout. So Shiner St. Paul takes a timeout. They lead 49-21, 4:33 to play. 3rd down call here. What do you think? 3rd and 7, ball on the 40-yard line. I mean, you're up right now, 49-21. Do you risk it and throw the ball, or do you stick with what's been working for you and run that ball right now?
If you're Shiner St. Paul here, you don't have much to lose. You've thrown the ball well, you've run the ball well. Everything you've done so far tonight has turned out in your favor. I wouldn't be opposed to taking a play action, dunking the ball to the tight end, getting just enough yards for the 1st down, and go right back to giving the team a steady dose of my guy, Adam Hollenbach.
Yeah, Hollenbach, 7 touchdowns in this one. Well over 2,000 yards for the season. He's been impressive to say the least.
Then you got Martin Kennedy. He's done a lot of great things tonight. Dakota Cresta. He's not chopped liver.
43 touchdowns on the season for Adam Hollenbach. Here we go, 3rd down and 7. Ball on the 40-yard line. 2 backs. And play action, looking downfield. Crespa is going to get sacked. So a big play right there on the defensive side of the ball by Legacy Christian Academy, and stepping up big and making a play there, number 52, Josh Norris. The 5'9", 185-pound freshman, I might add. So check it out. Norris doing a nice job of, you see him, number 52 here, as he steps up and makes the hit. It's a way to stay on the ball right there.
Yes, keep your motor running. Play to the echo of the whistle.
Well, here's something we haven't seen all night. Shiner St. Paul in punt formation.
So they do have a punter.
They do have a punter. In fact, this ball is punted pretty well downfield by Mitchell McElroy, who also played backup quarterback this year and filled in nicely when their star quarterback, the starting quarterback, Dakota Cresta, went down. Was 4-0 when he was the QB. So it's always good when your backup quarterback can come in and just keep those winning ways going.
Just ask Drew Bledsoe.
He never got it back, did he? Yep. And you played with him, huh?
I did play with Drew and Tom Brady.
Yeah, won you a Super Bowl down in Houston, huh, with New England?
Both great guys.
Wow, big play right here. Nice pass play. Wide open downfield as Adam Beck does a nice job of finding Hunter Wood open. Look at the play here by Beck. Good job by the offensive line.
This is the type of play that will get your team going. It's made on their sideline, so it fires everybody up, not just the guys on the field.
So big pass play there all the way down to the 29-yard line. And you can see that pump fake really worked right there. Nice job on the offensive side by Adam Beck. Shotgun. Keeps it, 25-20, picks up a first down, 15, breaks a tackle to the 10-5, touchdown. Adam Beck, nice run right there, his 30th touchdown of the season, first tonight. And just like that, Frisco Legacy Christian is on the board.
Great job of Adam Beck, turning this ball north and south, running behind the shoulder pads, delivering the blow, keeping his legs moving, and ultimately scoring a touchdown. He's not a small guy. He goes at about 6'1", 215, so he's a pretty good-sized guy. There's no surprise why these guys are bouncing off of him.
Going for 2 right here. Ball thrown up for grabs, and it's caught. How about that? So catching everybody off guard right here as Frisco Legacy Christian decides to go for 2, so they score their first touchdown in the third quarter, and they also get their first 2-point conversion of the game as well here in the ball game, and it's now 49-29 as they pull within 20 points. That ball kind of thrown up in the air, up for grabs, if you will, and somehow finding a way to come down with it was number 42, Caleb Palmer, and he is a sophomore, the 5'9", 190-pound sophomore, also plays linebacker on the defensive side of the ball, but he's a running back on the offensive side and did a nice job of getting open and just making a play. Your coaches say that a lot, make a play. Well, right there, that's a play being made.
Just make a play. Throw it up. Let the players play.
So 49-29, how big is that, getting that touchdown? They needed it. I mean, there was no question about it. They couldn't afford a punt or a 3-and-out like they've had so far here in the third quarter.
Yeah, the biggest fear for the Frisco Legacy Christian team is to not give up. You know, you faced a lot of adversity during this ball game. They've hit you with a bunch of big plays, and you know, it doesn't look good for you right now. But the main thing you have to realize is this is a championship game. You never quit until the clock runs to complete zeros. And if this coach can get his team thinking that way, who knows what could happen.
What do you think? Onside kick here, 49-29. Is it too early to go start thinking about onside kicks?
I think it's a bit early. You might want to squib it or corner kick it, but I don't know about an onside kick.
Well, Cameron Thrash, he is the kicker for Legacy Christian. And he is going to score. Oh, that ball's live. Bounces off a man. It is still live, and it is picked up by the Eagles. So a great call right there. The squib kick gets through that first line of defense. And when you kick it that hard to a guy that's only 10 yards away, hey, funny things happen sometimes. And look at that. Falling on the ball, doing a nice job of getting down the field and picking up that ball. I believe that was number 33 over there for Frisco Legacy Christian, Tom Mask.
I want you to let me borrow that crystal ball you got, too. Good call by you.
That intuition, huh?
Good call.
My wife says she's got that intuition. I try to just pick up on it every now and then.
It actually looked like a tweener between an onside and a squib.
There you go. All right, first play from the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 goes nowhere. In fact, looks like Adam Beck will lose a couple of yards here. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 12. Ball on the 36-yard line. Key moment in the game right now. You know, Frisco Legacy Christian's got the momentum back. They need another touchdown. They need a touchdown in a big way right here and get themselves to striking distance. Right now they're down 20, but you figure, you know, they went for 2 last time for a reason. They can get this game down to 12 points, which is just 2 scores. Here we go, downfield. Ball is caught.
Got him.
Wood into the end zone. No, we're going to call him just short at the 1, but what a great catch. You might notice Hunter Wood, that ball was underthrown, but Hunter Wood did a nice job of breaking off the play and coming back to the ball. All the time in the world right there for Adam Beck. But look at Hunter. Comes back to the ball, looks around, nothing but red jerseys around him, and still finds a way to get down to the 1-yard line.
A great adjustment by Hunter and a great effort to try to get the ball in the end zone. What I'm impressed with also is the coaching staff is finally opening up the playbook and letting the players play.
So here we go, 1st and goal on the 1. And you knew Ovi was going to get the ball right there. Ovi Urebu, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown, so don't count out Frisco Legacy Christian. The Academy back in this game, down 49-35. Pretty good surge right there by the offensive line.
Nice surge, great body lean by the running back.
So here we go, now lining up for just the single extra point. You know, they always say you don't want to chase points. I understand going for 2 last time. I'm back with the agreement of going for the 1 extra point. You know, get the sure point right here. Now you're down 49-36.
You think so?
Think about it. Well, I mean, it's now a 13-point difference. So you figure, hey, 2 touchdowns, you can win the game on that. I mean, what's the real advantage of going for 2 there? You don't need to. So yeah, they've got those little charts the coaches do. They try to tell them when they're going for 2 or not. You ever run across a head coach that really believed in those charts, or they just go by gut feeling most of the time?
No, they go strictly by the charts.
Okay.
I think if it's a 5-point lead, you go for 2.
You're right.
And 4 points, something. I don't know how it
especially late in the 4th quarter, things like that. So it's 49-36.
We got a ball game.
Yeah, Shiner St. Paul leading, but since we saw their punter for the first time tonight in the last series, and then on top of that, Frisco Legacy Christian getting the ball back on a pseudo onside kick, if you will. Hey, who knows right now?
Who knows? This might be a case of the tortoise and the hare.
So lining up for the kick here is Cameron Thrash. Love that name, 5'11", 200-pound senior. He's telling us this is his first time playing football. But you know, that's kind of somewhat normal for kickers. You know, sometimes they come over from playing soccer or rugby or whatever and realize that they've got a good leg. They can go play some football.
Right, realize that they fit in.
Exactly. All right, ball kicked away here. And good defense there. The special teams doing a nice job as the ball will be placed on the 37-yard line. So momentum clearly on the side of the Eagles right now, and the Cardinals trying to get it back here in the Battle of the Birds.
What would a turnover here do, Jeff?
Well, I don't even know if it's necessary right now with a minute 45 in the 3rd quarter. I mean, turnovers are good, don't get me wrong, but I think right now if you're Frisco Legacy Christian, how about a 3-and-out? How about just play some good, tough defense?
I like it.
I mean, right now I think Shiner St. Paul they've got some decisions to make. Do they want to get back to what was working, some play action, throwing the ball again, or do they want to stick with running the ball? We'll find out. Here is Adam Hollenbach, and look at this man go. Hollenbach with a first down all the way up to the 48-yard line. There was nothing there.
He's got some sweet feet, baby.
He does.
Sweet feet.
Hollenbach is a great football player as he takes the pitch here. I'm thinking right here he's stuffed, but he feeds off his blocker and finds a crack and gets some good yardage right there. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, you need to do a better job of staying on your feet, keep your balance, and tackle low. Get those legs. You alluded to the midsection. Is that because it gives you a better angle, maybe a better way of positioning yourself for the tackle?
It's something that a runner can't move as easily. You can move your feet, your hands, but your torso, your center of gravity, your belly button, as they say.
Take it out, huh?
It's hard to move.
No gain on that play right there. Maybe a yard, so we'll say maybe 2nd and 9 here. We're closing in on the end of the third quarter, about 50 seconds to play here in the third. It's been sort of that feeling of, Shiner St. Paul has had their distance. They feel pretty good about themselves. But right now, with all the momentum with Frisco Legacy Christian, I think they feel right now, the Eagles do, that, hey, we're back in this game. We need to stop. And we come back down and score, we've got ourselves a game. 49-36, 25 seconds to go, third quarter. 3-back set. Flag comes down.
Delay of game.
Yeah. Delay of game. This will march them back 5 more yards and bring up a 2nd and 14. Those penalties will kill you. So let's say 43 here was where the ball will be placed. Shiner St. Paul. Quite a few Czechoslovakian names on this team. Of course, the big Czech community there in Shiner. Janacek. Some of the names that kind of stand out. We got, of course, Ben and Jed Janacek. That will end up being the last play of the third quarter. So we'll see. We got ourselves a game here as Shiner St. Paul trying to hang on to this 49-36 lead as we approach the final 12 minutes here of the fourth quarter. And Larry, no question about it, Frisco back in, and we'll talk more about that in just a moment. You're watching the Legacy Sports Network. It's the TAPPS Division II champion or Division III championship game. And welcome back to Waco's Floyd Casey Stadium. We've got ourselves a great game here. The Division III 11-man state championship. Look at this. Here we go. 2nd and deep. Going downfield. The ball is up, and it is caught. What a fantastic play. Dakota Cresta, using a little play action, rolled out and found Dylan Barton open downfield. And I tell you, Barton had to make a play right there. Goes up high and got that ball at its highest point to make the catch.
Hunter Wood on the coverage. He was a tad late, but the ball was underthrown. Had he come in and swiped the ball away, he might have had a chance to break it up. Pretty decent coverage, though.
So Dylan Barton right there plays linebacker also here for Shiner St. Paul. He's got 137 tackles on the year, but as you can see, he can go up high and make some grabs, too, on the offensive side. Plays tight end and a little bit of wide receiver. 1st and 10, ball on the 21. Handoff up the middle to Mr. Adam Hollenbach. I almost called him the MVP right there, but I don't want to say that yet because I don't like to give the MVP award out to the team that loses. And right now, I'm just not convinced that this game's over.
He's gonna be hard to beat if it's not.
Shiner St. Paul up right now by 13 points. But no question about it, Frisco Legacy Christian has had the momentum here for the last maybe 5 or 6 minutes. But an important defensive stand right here. Ball's inside the red zone on the 18-yard line. Shiner St. Paul in the red uniforms trying to stand tall here and pick up a state championship. 2nd down and 7. Ball on the 18. Handoff up the middle to Kennedy. And he gets some decent yardage right there. I like that formation. He kind of lines up as like a slot back and then comes across. It's almost like it works as like a, I don't know, an off. You got your lineman there coming off the block, and
good tackle by Bill Meyer there. Hitting him low, cutting him about halfway down. Paying attention to his midsection. Textbook tackle.
I mean, that's a play right there. I did a story on we called it the Pflugerville 55. The Pflugerville Panthers had won 55 consecutive games, and they ran a lot of those plays where, sweeps and running those tackles off. Here we go, handoff up the middle. Good gain there for a 1st down. And again, that's Adam Hollenbach as he is down to the 7-yard line.
We've got a chance to mention Caleb Palmer's name quite a bit tonight, inside linebacker. He's doing a good job of holding down the middle. Unfortunately, he's given up, or the other guys have given up too many lanes, and the running game of Shiner St. Paul has pretty much thrashed them most of the day.
All right, so ball on the 7 here. 1st and goal. 3-back set. Handoff again to Hollenbach to the 5-yard line now. We're going to get a heavy dose of him. You talked about earlier about that 8-touchdown performance by Jonathan Gray. Well, look at this. We got a chance for Adam Hollenbach to pick up his 8th touchdown of the night.
I got my money on Hollenbach.
I was at that game when Jonathan Gray had those 8 touchdowns. I tell you, it's tough to go to that next level from high school and start playing college football right away, and he's done a pretty nice job over there at the University of Texas.
Is he playing? Is he getting much time?
Oh, yeah. He's getting a lot of time. He's been their feature back. He and Malcolm Brown. Malcolm Brown been injured a lot for him. Here we go now, 2nd and 5. Handoff up the middle. It's Hollenbach, number 8. His 8th touchdown of the night.
That'll do it.
And that is tying a state record that Alito's Jonathan Gray set just last year. Look at that, 55-36. Shiner St. Paul with the lead here in the 4th quarter. And Adam Hollenbach is having himself one incredible game. Got a feeling we're going to need to catch up with him after the game. You up for maybe giving him some hardware later? What do you think? I know you want to meet him.
I'm good.
8 touchdowns. That's quite a performance right there.
I want him to hook me up with some tickets on Sunday someday.
And there's the kick. It's up and good. So back to a 20-point lead now for Shiner St. Paul. They're up 56-36, and that was a good drive for them right there. I think they felt that Legacy Christian had the momentum. They needed to get a good, strong ground game going again. That's kind of what got them going here in the throughout the game, for that matter. And they really showed it off right there on that drive.
That's the mark of a championship team. Right when you think things are going bad, they put it all together, get everybody on the same page, and do what it took to get you here in the first place.
And how about that offensive line for Shiner St. Paul? Connor Pruitt, Tyler Morgan, Laddie Potek, Justin Siegel, Travis Robbie, and even Dylan Barton over there at the tight end. Those guys they're making some holes for running backs like Adam Hollenbach.
To all the football players out there, it starts in the trenches. You got a good offensive line, an offensive line that can create holes. They're the real heroes. Running backs can't run through no holes, small cracks.
You need a huge crack, huh? If you think about it, most offensive linemen, they love it when their coach decides we're just going to play some smash mouth football. We're going to run the football. Because offensive linemen, they don't like to pass block all the time. I mean, that's when sacks are given up. They got to stand up as opposed to pushing and driving the opponent. And I've been real impressed with this offensive line for Shiner St. Paul. They have really controlled the line of scrimmage, and I think that's why they are leading right now 56-36.
I tend to agree with you. That's where this game, that's where the difference is in this ball game.
And Hunter Wood falling on that one right there. So Legacy Christian Academy will get things started on their own 22-yard line, trailing 56-36, 8:36 to play here in the fourth quarter. He did the smart thing right here. Once he knew he had bobbled the ball, just fall on it. Don't try to get up and pick it up and all that. Just, you're down. Just go ahead and fall on that ball. Again, don't forget, tomorrow, Midland Christian and Houston Northland Christian will do battle. 11-man football here at Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco, and also Fort Worth Nolan and Addisy Trinity Christian Academy. The game's at 3 o'clock, Division I and II championships. There's a pass to Wood. Wood breaks a tackle, 35, 40, 45, up to the 48-yard line. Nice piece of running right there. We also have 6-man football for you over at Bulldog Stadium in Zephyr. Talking about TAPPS football for you. Fredericksburg Heritage taking on Seguin Lifegate. That's a 12 o'clock game. Yours truly and Larry Centers will be on the call on that one. Also Dallas Covenant and Bernie Geneva in the late game at 5 o'clock. Looking forward to that one as well. You ever been out to Zephyr? That's a 6-man field out there. Bulldog Stadium.
Never been out there.
Yeah, it's artificial surface. I mean, they only play 6-man football on it. It's pretty cool if you think about it. I mean, they know what they are out there. They're not trying to go to 11-man or anything like that.
Right.
Ball underthrown right here. I know Adam Beck wishes he had that one back. He had his receiver open right there and just couldn't get it to him. Had plenty of time. His offensive line did a nice job.
Skylar Crouch, we haven't, has he caught a ball today? I don't think they've connected with him today. I'm sure he'd like to catch one.
Yeah, that ball was just underthrown. Nothing he could do about it right there.
Right.
Adam Beck with coming into the game over 1,320 yards passing, 29 touchdowns. Here's a pass to the outside. Nice job. That's a good little play call right there, and it opens up a bit for Brian Marino. Called his name out a couple of times. He's out to the 30-yard line. Nice gain. Good play call. It's all about that line. You give himself a little bit of time to make something happen.
Yep.
And who knows?
Brian Marino does a good job of getting upfield. Great acceleration.
All right, so the clock beginning to be a bit of a factor here for Frisco Legacy Christian, down 56-36, 7:35 to play. To pick up the pace a little bit here, down to 7 seconds on the play clock. Keeping it this time is Beck, and very little gain right there. Promise you we'll see a pass on the next play. Because right now the offensive coordinator is saying to himself, man, we should have passed the ball right there. Yeah. You don't want to see your quarterback picking up 1 or 2 yards and going down, and that clock continues to run. Not when you're down by 20 points.
No, you don't. He was brought down there by Adam Beck.
Frisco Legacy Christian coming into this game 11-2. You know, last year they were 4-8, but did make the postseason by district at the D3 level. Pass again to Wood. Wood's been the go-to man tonight for Frisco Legacy Christian. He picks up about 5. It's going to be a little short of the first down, though, so it brings up 3rd and 3. But this is a Frisco Legacy Christian team that's used to being in the postseason, as is Shiner St. Paul. Both these coaches doing a nice job. Andrew Embry, the head coach of Frisco Legacy Christian, and Jake Walksmith, the head coach at Shiner St. Paul. The Eagles with the ball. Shotgun. No back set. Wood here with a great catch as he tries to fight for a couple more yards and goes out of bounds, but looks like it's enough for a first down. That's all they were trying to do right there, just move the chains. Take what the defense will give you, right?
That's how you do it.
Picks up about 3 or 4 yards right there, and he needed to get out of bounds right there, though. That was the only thing I would regret on that play if I was him, is he didn't get out of bounds, and that clock kept on moving. We're at 5:52. There's Ovi Urebu, and he breaks to the outside, the 10. He's going to score a touchdown. Ovi Urebu finding a way into the end zone, went right up the middle, then broke to the outside, following his blockers, and just like you used to do it, right, Larry?
That's how you do it. At least I can say that now that I'm not playing. It's exactly how I used to do it.
At what point, as either running back, fullback, I mean, he decides to break this ball to the outside. Great decision. But at what point as a back do you say to yourself, hey, I'm content with this 7 or 8 yards, let me just go down? Or in this case, you break the ball to the outside and obviously make the right choice as he gets a touchdown.
It's a split-second decision. You know, some guys are instinctually more gifted to make the right call most of the time. But the general rule of thumb is to push the ball forward instead of going sideways. You'll notice the lower level of sports that you play, from the pros, the college, and on down, you very rarely see guys run sideways because the pursuit is so fast nowadays that it won't get you anything in the long run.
Yeah, if you think about it, the defense, they're already set up. They're already down the side you're trying to get to. So if you run sideways, you just cost yourself 3 or 4 seconds.
Yes.
And that's what you can't afford to do.
And one thing you can rest assured of is that they are on the way.
Unless you're Ovi Urebu, who can make that play because he's got the speed, he's got the strength. He broke a tackle and made a big touchdown.
There it is.
56-43. It's back to a 13-point game, 5:44. The Eagles not out of it yet. I'm sure they're talking a little strategy right now, and their fans all on their feet. They know this is a big moment right now.
And on the note of Ovi, can never argue with production.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm sure he's heard that before. The force has been with him. He's a great force when he gets the ball. Leading rusher in the Dallas-Fort Worth area out of all the TAPPS schools in Division 1, 2, and 3. So here we go. Ball on the 40-yard line. 5:44. Thrash checking out his lineup. And here's the kick. It is an onside kick, and it gets through. Oh, a missed opportunity right there by the Eagles. Looked like they had a chance to get that one, but it just got out of bounds a little too quickly. But this is the second time tonight where that ball got through the first line of defenders there for Shiner St. Paul and almost cost him right there. And that ball was almost kicked a little too hard, huh?
Yep, just a hair.
So 56-43. Officials talking things over right now. Looks like we might have had a flag on the play. Let's get the call. Or maybe just resetting the – let's see.
One way to avoid that happening is to send the outermost guy down the sideline and have him face his back to the sideline. He's basically like a back catcher.
So the Eagles actually called for the penalty right there. So setting up at the 50-yard line will be Shiner St. Paul, up 56-43. Handoff up the middle. Churning for a few more yards. Adam Hollenbach has had himself a great football game up to the 46-yard line. That clock continues to roll. If you're Legacy Christian, you need a 3 and out. Or perhaps try to strip the ball away. What do they teach you as the fullback, Larry? I know you want to keep that ball all, tucked away as best as possible. You don't want any bit of that football showing off, do you?
You don't want any of it being exposed, if at all possible. Even doubling up over the top of the football.
You see it more and more now in the professional ranks than ever, the way those defensive backs can strip the ball. All right, keeping the ball to the outside here. Nice job by Dakota Cresta, picking up a few yards, but brings up 3rd and 2. 4:50 and counting. This is a big play right here. 3rd and 3, 56-43. Shiner St. Paul leading Frisco Legacy Christian. And again, I go back to this, what I said before. If these are those kind of, offensive play calls that can make and break coaches. Or if you're the defensive coordinator for Frisco Legacy Christian, Kevin Hatcher or check that Barrett Hardage, both of them on the defensive side, you need to stop right here. Handoff up the middle, and they don't get the stop, and it is again Adam Hollenbach picking up some big chunks of yards right up the middle.
You got to be able to stop it at this critical moment in the ball game.
Yeah, Hollenbach, watch as he just follows his blocks. I mean, look at it. He's got not only the offensive line in front of him, but he's got the two backs in front of him too. Good yardage. First down.
You know, they've run the play the entire game. I would think that they would have come up with something that could at least minimize the damage.
Hey, man, I go back to that offensive line. I mean, Laddie Potek, Justin Siegel, Travis Robbie, Tyler Morgan, Connor Pruitt, they've been strong. Short gain here, but again, the clock is now the huge factor. 3:36. It's a 13-point game, and Shiner St. Paul's got the ball. And I'm thinking right now, Frisco Legacy Christian's going to have to start using some of their timeouts. They're down to well, let's see, they might use one right here. Nope, they're going to let it roll, but the clock continues to move. They've got all 3 timeouts left. And the play clock already winding down to 10 seconds. So Shiner St. Paul runs up to the line of scrimmage. They're going to try to get this one off here. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And the handoff up the middle. This play's worked all day. Adam Hollenbach, another 3 or 4 yards. Yeah, off tackle.
They found that honey hole.
Yeah, and I talked about this earlier. I was looking for that pulling guard was what I was trying to come up with earlier. You see a lot of teams back in the 50s and 60s used to run that pulling guard, and 2 or 3 of them coming to the outside. Next thing you know, big holes are opening up.
Yeah.
That still works today because so many schools run the spread offense that when someone does go back to a more traditional style of running the football, it throws defensive coordinators off.
Yes. Offensive and defensive schemes are cyclical. They go in cycles. When somebody starts to stop a particular style, they make the offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators make tweaks to it. And then you have to make another tweak. So it's just a revolving door.
But there's no question about it. I mean, any offensive coordinator will tell you you need a good quarterback. And if you're on the defensive side of the ball, you need one of those linebackers who's a leader out there. You think about the good defenses, throughout the years, always had a good linebacker running the show out there. Dick Butkus. You can, how about right here at Baylor University, Mike Singletary.
Right.
Played for the Chicago Bears. Real intense, had that look on their face. They were just in charge out there,
Mm-hmm. They made everybody around them better. And that's what you look for, not just in any particular position. That's the type of locker room guy you want.
That's the leader that teams need. That guy that can get in the face of a player who he knows is just not giving it all he's got. Someone who can get in that guy's face and say, hey, give me everything you've got. And you'll usually hear that from seniors. Seniors know it's their last chance. They want everybody else on that team to realize what it means to them. Here we go, 3rd down, 2 yards to go. Trying to pick up the first down around the outside is Hollenbach again, and I think he's going to be very close. Might have to get a measurement.
I think he got it.
Yeah, needed to get to the 23, and he's right on it.
Man, I am thoroughly impressed with the way Adam Hollenbach runs the football. Look at the offhand. Look at the lowering of the shoulder. He knows what the first down marker is, and he runs like it. Look at it.
Injured player down in the field. What do you say we take a quick timeout right now? It's 56-43 as Shiner St. Paul leads Frisco Legacy Christian. We'll be right back with the conclusion of the Division III TAPPS State Championship game. And welcome back to Waco's Floyd Casey Stadium here. It is 56-43. Shiner St. Paul leading Frisco Legacy Christian, and an injured player down on the field right now for Frisco Legacy Christian. Looks like Ryan Yasili. And both players, of course, very concerned. And we don't want to speculate on the injury, but he's been placed on a cart and will be carted off the field. And you always want to make sure you protect that neck area and make sure they're securely tightened down as tight as possible on that stretcher and on that cart. And it's one thing to, it's a game. It is a game. We have to keep it all in perspective. I know a state championship's on the line here, but you hate to see some player get hurt late in the game. And it's good to see he's got his hand up in the air right now, and he appears to be doing okay. It's 56-43 right now. Again, Shiner St. Paul leading Frisco Legacy Christian. This is the TAPPS Division III championship game. 11-man football here in Waco, and that's a good sign right there. Thumbs up. And if you're a player, as you get carted off the field in that situation, you want to let your teammates, and probably most importantly, you want to let your parents know that you're okay. And that was very good to see. The thumbs up right there and okay. And that was Ryan Yasili again, it looks like, being carted off the field there for Legacy Christian.
It's always a good sign, definitely, when they can encourage the rest of their teammates to go on and let their parents know they're okay for sure.
So here we go, 1st and 10, ball on the 23, handoff up the middle, some good tough yardage right there by Adam Hollenbach. And Hollenbach continues to churn out the yards. He's had himself a great game. 2nd and 6 here. Clock continues to move down to the 2-minute and 13-minute mark. 13-point lead for the Cardinals over the Eagles as we approach the 2-minute mark here. Frisco Legacy Christian with 2 timeouts left. They'll probably start using them right after this play. Under center. It's Cresta. The handoff. And picking up some more tough yardage down to around the 25-yard line. That's 5 more. That keeps that clock rolling. Down to 1:45.
You're just grinding it out this time of game.
So a timeout on the field by Frisco Legacy Christian. The Eagles talking things over. At this point in the game, you're thinking, okay, we're down 13. We're not out of it. You know they're going to run the football. You put 8 men in the box. You still got to get in there and try to strip that ball free somehow.
Somehow you got to come away with the turnover.
Yeah, it's not just that you're looking for the turnover. I mean, you're 80 yards from the other end zone, so you got a long way to go. You need to make something happen. And right now, down 13 points, Frisco Legacy Christian realizes that this is the game right here. They can't afford to give up another first down, not 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 2 on the 15-yard line. I don't think there's any question who's going to get the ball. Adam Hollenbach. I'm going to make a prediction right here while we hear the crystal ball out. Hollenbach, a sensational game. In case you're just joining us, 8 touchdowns for Adam Hollenbach. An incredible performance. He's got 44 touchdowns in his career. Of course, 8 being the state record as well. That was set by Alito's Jonathan Gray. Ball on the 15-yard line, 3rd and 2. Here's the handoff, and it is Hollenbach, and he's stacked up right about at the 13, which is where he needed to go for the first. I think he might be a little bit short. Looks like they're marking him about a half a yard short. But they're going to bring the chains out. I want to double check. This is a pivotal part of the game as we get down to 138. It's a 13-point lead for Shiner St. Paul. Obvious that a field goal ices it. Somehow, some way, Frisco Legacy Christian's got to keep them off the board. Right now, it's a 2-score game. You don't want to become a 3-score game. So if you're on the defensive side of the ball right now, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking I got to pile up the box. I mean, I'd probably take my defensive backs off the field, all but about 2 of them. And, heck, try to stop them. What's our timeout situation here?
Yeah, we're down to no timeouts left for Frisco Legacy Christian. And, of course, Shiner St. Paul with their 2 timeouts and leading right now 56-43 with 1:38 to play. And it is going to be short of the first down, by the way. Ball on the 13-yard line, but just a couple of inches short. Adam Hollenbach with an incredible game here with 8 touchdowns to lead Shiner St. Paul. He has all 8 of the TDs for the Cardinals, and he's 1 touchdown away from the record in the state of Texas, and we'll see what happens here. So here we go. It is 4th and 1. The ball is on the 13-yard line. The Cardinals of Shiner St. Paul trying to put this game away and claim a Division III TAPPS state championship. Under center, Dakota Cresta, handoff, and he's got it. That is a first down to about the 11-yard line, and that is going to all but do it. With no timeouts left, Frisco Legacy Christian cannot stop the clock. And it looks like Shiner St. Paul will be the state champions in Division III. Don't forget, tomorrow we've got Midland Christian and Houston Northland Christian battling at 11 a.m. and Fort Worth Nolan versus Addison Trinity Christian. Those are the Division I and Division II championship games. Plus, we've got some 6-man action for you as well tomorrow here on the Legacy Sports Network as the victory formation here for Shiner St. Paul. And that is the favorite formation of all head coaches because you know you're going to win. What an impressive performance by Shiner St. Paul. The Cardinals have run the football extremely well behind Adam Hollenbach, who has 8 touchdowns. Hollenbach is now the deep man, just making sure nothing crazy happens. As under center, Dakota Cresta, as he takes a knee, and that's going to do it. The clock is winding down. The coaching staff for Shiner St. Paul coming onto the field. High fives across that Cardinal bench. The fans know it, a state championship. And Frisco Legacy Christian, they will fall to 11-3 on the season. Shiner St. Paul, with only a 10-4 record, your state champions in Division III of the Texas Association of Private and Parochial Schools. What a huge win for not only St. Paul, but for the entire community of Shiner, Texas. We talked about their large enrollment of Czech students, and I know they are having themselves a ball right now as they claim the state championship in Division III of TAPPS football here in the state of Texas. Again, your final score, 56-43. Shiner St. Paul defeats Frisco Legacy Christian. We're sending Larry Centers down to the field to see if we can get an interview with Adam Hollenbach, obviously the player of the game with 8 touchdowns. He's now got 44 in his career. Roughly 2,200 yards for his career as well. And not only a great performance by Hollenbach, but this entire offensive line for Shiner St. Paul should share that award with him. They did a fine job up front. Great effort all the way around. Their defense stood strong when they had to. They bent, didn't totally break. Shiner St. Paul wins it 56-43 over Frisco Legacy Christian. We'll break it all down for you in just a moment. Let's take a quick timeout. You're watching the Legacy Sports Network. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Floyd Casey Stadium here in Waco, where Shiner St. Paul defeats Frisco Legacy Christian by a final score of 56-43. And standing by is Larry Centers right now, who is down on the field with one of the star players from the game. It looks like slot back Martin Kennedy. And let's join Larry Centers down on the field right now as Adam Hollenbach also joins Larry. Larry?
Yes, can you guys hear me?
We sure can.
Okay, great.
All right, tell us what's going on, Larry.
Adam and Dakota.
I got Martin, Adam, and Dakota here with me, guys. And just want to ask them a few things individually about how they thought the game went. We knew it was a championship game, guys. What do you think going in?
Oh, well, we knew it was going to be a big game, and we knew we were going to have to ground it out. And I'm proud of our backs and our linemen for just pushing it through.
Adam, 8 touchdowns. I think that ties Jonathan Gray at Alito last year for a championship game. What are your thoughts?
Oh my God, this is amazing. I never thought I'd have 8 touchdowns in one game, but all my credit goes to my line. This man right here, and all those guys over there for working hard every day in practice.
That'll work. Dakota? What's your thoughts on the game?
Amazing. I'm so happy. People say, you know, you get to throw the ball. I don't care at all. Adam can get 32 touchdowns. I don't care as long as we come out with the win. I'm super happy, super excited.
You did a great job today, man. I couldn't be more impressed with the way y'all played as a team. Keep it going. Come back and win it next year, all right? Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Back to you. Yes.
All right, Larry. We do appreciate that, and no doubt about it. What a performance. Adam Hollenbach, 21, on the field. Yeah, he had 8 touchdowns. Amazing. Ties Jonathan Gray, state championship game record. And, of course, now with 44 touchdowns in his career, over 2,200 yards in his career. What a performance by Adam Hollenbach in this game. And he credited his offensive line, and what a nice job they did. No question about it. His offensive line will tell you that they deserve that award as much as anyone else. And look at this, they're state champs on top of all of that. Shiner St. Paul, your winners, 56-43. Let's check in one more time with Larry Centers, who's with the head coach. Larry?
Worked hard since August, and you just hope that you keep plugging away. And there was a lot of times during the year that things didn't look like they were going to go our way, and our kids, they never gave up. So, they came here tonight, and we got a pretty good lead in the second half. And then Frisco's a heck of a team. Nobody's going to go quiet, and it was a battle. But I'm so proud of these kids. They're just a lot of fun to coach.
One more question: is there any one thing during this season where, at one moment, where you said, "We got a championship team"? And if so, what was that moment?
Well, I think the way it's been with these kids is, I'm not sure about that answer. I would say no. If you were to go back to where we were at the beginning, we were not a real good team. But the credit of these kids every day believing and listening and just keep plugging away. And, football seasons are not sprints. Sometimes people come out week 1, they look like world beaters, and they're not here tonight. These kids just kept plugging away, and week by week got better. And I do know this, 4 weeks ago tonight, we lost to our rivals for the district championship, Hallettsville Sacred Heart, great football team. That did not sit well with us. And, I think, they played great that night, and we definitely came away with a bad taste, and maybe that motivated us a little bit, but I don't know, I'm just proud of them.
Coach, great win tonight, man. Much success to you in the future.
Appreciate it.
Very impressed with the way you came away with the win today.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Back to you,
All
guys.
right, thanks, Larry. Do appreciate that. Again, Shiner St. Paul wins it 56-43 over Frisco Legacy Christian Academy. So they are the Division III state champions of TAPPS football. Congratulations. Again, goes out to Shiner St. Paul. What a thrilling victory for them. And also, what a great performance by their entire team and coaching staff. All right, that puts a wraps on this one. I'm Jeff Power. We appreciate you being with us on this broadcast. Thanks to everyone in the Legacy Sports Network crew. And we'll catch you with more action, including 6-man football and more 11-man TAPPS football from right here in Waco tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.